despite just finishing our half pre-GP and our TED talk on different forms of combustion fueling. And yeah, that's good fun. Anywho, we are live with the watch-along, the F1RST watch-along for the Mexican high-altitude Grand Prix, and I'm here with Sarah Hawkey.
Hello. And I'm here with Midnight ISO. We usually show each other's faces, but unfortunately some technical difficulties have prevented us this week. So on my screen, just have me. And on Midnight
on my screen, you just have me.
Exactly. But we are talking
Long
to
story
each
short,
other.
Discord is being a pain.
Isn't it? When is it not being a pain? That's the question.
Well, the philosophical answer is when it isn't. So, you know. Anywho, possible race strategies, medium to hard tires or medium, hard, medium is what Pirelli has predicted for this race. I'm hoping for someone to go double, medium, soft, just to throw a little wrench in there.
Yeah, just
so
to
we
spice
shall
it
see.
up a little. What am I munching on? Meow. Was it meow? Mayom, whatever how you pronounce that. Pinballs. There was half a packet left, so. I'm
eating
KP
cheese footballs. We're both snacking.
Yeah, mine are kind of football shaped.
Mexico City was built on a lake, so it sinks about 12 centimeters a year. Well, in a good couple of 100 years, then it might be a little bit closer to sea level.
Maybe. I like how they always love to show that fastest pit stop.
They do. Anywho, so in the actual race, we have a surprise from qualifying. Leclerc, Sainz front row with Verstappen in third, and an even bigger surprise, Danny Rick in fourth.
Yep.
So,
and Lando Norris done in 18th.
Yeah, that was unfortunately it was one I saw coming. It was like get a lap in, get a lap in, get a lap in. He hasn't got a lap in. Boom, knocked out.
Yeah.
It's going to happen occasionally. No team is perfect. Unfortunately, Lando got caught out. So it happens. So, looks like a hot day there at Mexico, doesn't it, Sarah?
It does.
Despite the altitude.
First ever CGP.
This is the highest. Yeah. This is the highest Grand Prix next to the Amsterdam Grand Prix, which is clearly the highest Grand Prix. For a very different way. So, homeboy Perez, I believe he's starting fifth behind Danny Rick, who's threatening to take his seat for next year. Hello, Prototype. Welcome back, my man. And to Pedro, of course, who's in the chat as well. Yes, and yeah, this is the highest Grand Prix next to the Amsterdam Grand Prix, which are the other highest Grand Prix, ethically. Good city.
I'm going to watch Danny Rick's on board. Don't blame you, to be fair.
Hopefully he doesn't do what he did, I think it was in 20, when he went right at the back of someone. Can't remember who. So, okay, time for the lights out, and here we go time. He didn't do it. Oh, yes, he did. So, okay, Max, he's already into P2. He's going to have the inside line for the next corner. So,
very dusty.
Yeah. How the heck did he get that? Whoa, where did Perez come from?
Oh, yeah. Oh! Oh, no. Who was that?
That was Perez.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, and Leclerc with a broken front wing as well, and skipping over the first corner. Same as what Lewis Hamilton did a few years ago.
I'm not going to like that.
No. I think he's still going. He's just at the back.
You could hear the roar from the crowd. Oh, my God.
Yeah, and surprisingly, he's still going. Can't believe that.
Danny recovered P4. Well, yeah, he inherited P4 after that.
Did a little bit. But where did Max come from on that opening lap?
Like I said, maybe it was the preferred spot, being behind the Ferraris, getting the slipstream right from the start.
I don't know if he could even use the slipstream. He just went straight out, went straight down the middle. So, okay, so Piastri is clearly fighting with Russell at the moment. He's got Russell right on the back of him. Somehow Hamilton's gone up to 5th. So he's taken, I think, Russell, and Piastri's jumped Russell as well. So Russell must have had a really terrible lap. Leclerc is going to get a black flag for that, Sarah. Do you feel? You know, for the damage, which could easily fall off. Or was it the meatball flag, which is black and orange?
Boxing as well.
Yeah, no surprise. He's going to have floor damage and all sorts.
On the hard tyres.
I mean, honestly, you can see that coming from a mile away. Leclerc and Perez are heading for the same bit of track, and they both Red Bull squeezed the Ferrari. Maybe the Ferrari understeered into Perez, but
is that a retirement?
That always like it's going. Yeah. Pedro watched that from on board. So you saw that from Danny Rick's perspective. That must be good. Wow. So, okay, we're going to see a replay of this now. Just watch that start from Verstappen. Like, boom! They haven't even got 100 metres and he's already passed signs.
Yeah.
As soon as he's got that line, he didn't even use the slipstream. So, okay, what happens to Perez and Leclerc?
He's clearly ahead. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's tricky. It's kind of a racing incident.
Yeah, he was sandwiched. Like, he did sandwich the Ferrari there.
Yep. I'm kind of putting a little bit more blame on Leclerc at the moment. So Perez nearly went from 5th to 1st there.
Yeah.
But he's also turned in. And Leclerc's not going to disappear, is he?
No.
And he's got Verstappen on his inside, so he can't go anywhere.
Ouch.
Oh, look at all that. Yeah, that is ruined floor. That's all Red Bull. Okay, so now we have, obviously, the view from Leclerc. So Leclerc had a terrible start. I think Max only had a normal start. Everyone else had a bad start around him.
To be fair, it does look like Perez turned in on him.
It does. Oh, look at that. There's a gigantic hole in the radiator. And why did they even bother changing the tyres?
Yeah. Imagine that's the shot that could possibly seal the deal.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's an accident he didn't need to have. I'm still surprised that Leclerc's still circulating out there. Maybe they're hoping for a safety car or something for the debris.
Potentially.
Yeah, that front wing's coming off. Well, the bits of it. There it goes. It's come off. Oh, that's a bit of luck, actually. Because quite frankly, that means it's now no longer going to flick off from the car and cause any problems.
No.
However, he's now going to be slower than what he would ideally be. So, Sarah, one hell of an interesting start in the first corner there.
Yeah. Would you say maybe the home track, maybe the pressure of the whole Red Bull situation might have got to Perez a bit there?
Either that or ambition over, reality. Pick one.
Yeah, probably a little bit of everything. Obviously, as a racer, you see that gap, you're like, oh, quite a big gap there.
Yeah,
I'll go for
that. Home Grand Prix. Ooh, 5th to 1st in a couple of 100 yards. Why not?
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate for the Mexican crowd. Looks like they might be trying to repair him and send him out again. Why?
They seem to like doing that with Perez. We saw that obviously at the Japanese Grand Prix as well.
Yeah. It turned out they had a reason for that. It's because they were trying to avoid a penalty.
Virtual safety car because of that front wing bit.
I'm a little bit surprised that they've done that now, considering the accident was 4 laps ago.
Yeah.
And there's only one extra little bit of debris on the track. Hmm. They are sending him out again.
Ah. Doesn't look happy though.
No, he wouldn't be. He's 4 laps down. But Norris has got one of the Aston Martins. That must be Stroll. No.
Either or. They were quite low down today.
Yeah, I don't know where Alonso started.
Oh, that was close between Russell and Piastri.
Yeah, a good bit of racing between those two.
Yeah.
So they are. That's still Max. So they are sending Perez back out. What is this doing testing?
It would have been Alonso. Alonso is down in 16th at the moment.
So big losers on the opening laps. Leclerc and Sainz both down 1 place each, which is not horrendous, I suppose. Bottas down 3, Alonso down 3, and Ocon down 4. So Ocon had a shocker of a start. Not as bad as Perez, mind you.
I missed Pedro's comment, but he said Danny's quite quick on the slow corners and he's starting to catch up to Carlos.
Could you imagine a Red Bull 1-2 that isn't the main team?
It would be good to see.
Hulkenberg got 4. Yeah, P8. But it's still a Haas at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we all know the tyre degradation on that Haas is not amazing, to say the least. Although saying that Hamilton is right behind Danny Rick at the moment.
Yeah, now the VSC has ended. It's I think we're going to see Hamilton on the podium here. I do feel that.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Obviously the Mercedes have brought upgrades that obviously would have worked last week if it wasn't illegal afterwards. So hopefully it treats them well this race as well.
I'm still sore about that, and it's not because Hamilton was and Leclerc were.
Did you see they've done apparently random checks on these said planks throughout the season?
Yep.
And they've been random. But Ferrari and Mercedes have both had 5 checks.
Yeah. And some teams have had none.
Yeah, 2 teams had none, which I think was AlphaTauri and Williams. All the other ones have had 2.
Yeah, I know. Random. As Hamilton is closing on Danny Rick, which is to be expected given the performance of those cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way the FIA do that, I mean, some of the standard checks, I've said this before, but I'll be quick. I genuinely feel that some of the standard checks, like the plank where it needs to be mandatory for all cars, that's only measuring one thing.
Yeah.
So, like, the minimum. And then if they want to do an in-depth check of all the other, 1 or 2 other cars per race, fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, checking one thing is only going to add an hour or 2 across the entire weekend for the FIA, at worst. From the camera view, these F1 cars have gotten bigger and longer than the 1990 cars. They're about 1 meter longer, at least.
Yeah.
They're the biggest they've ever been, because the longer the car is, the more aerodynamic surface you have to play with, the more downforce they can create at a lower drag coefficient. Where did I pull that from? I don't know. So, okay, Hamilton's on the back of Danny Rick with DRS. However, the air being a lot thinner around here, it means that DRS is a lot less effective. But he's still going to go for it. No, he's not.
Also, did you see the controversy regarding Checo exceeding track limits 26 times at the same corner and not getting penalised?
I heard a nugget about it, but you may have to tell me more about it.
I believe I saw bits of it, Pedro, but do correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, that was a... Why was it... Did you see that yellow flag? Yeah, green flag.
Someone's cut across a corner somewhere.
Yeah. So that caught my attention. He, apparently, accordingly, he went over the white line at this several corner so many times, but yet it wasn't picked up. And, like, obviously it was picked up on cameras. It wasn't picked up by race control, and he didn't get penalised at all. Yeah, obviously on certain corners, some of them did get warnings. So they felt like, even though it's a different part of the track, he was still obviously off the track, so he should have got penalised in some way or another.
Absolutely, and he wouldn't be out there unless he was gaining time.
Yeah, and exactly, Pedro said that would have amounted to over 1 minute in penalties.
Well, admittedly, he wouldn't have done it if he had kept getting warnings about it, but because he wasn't given warnings, he kept doing it.
Yep.
The FIA notoriously, they've been a lot better in recent months and year or so. However, over many years, they're notorious about picking which corners they monitor and which they don't.
Yep.
I mean, we'll both know that the Nürburgring GP, that corner, hang on, 1, 2, 3, fifth corner, where they can just drive straight off the track.
Yeah, true.
And we all do it on GT7. We do. Okay, that's what the yellow flag was. So was that Yuki yeeting himself across the grass?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
A little bit of grass cutting, a little bit of maintenance.
A little bit of Bottasing, ziggying. So I'm going to take what Pedro said there. Albon is excelling on hard tyres. He always does seem to excel on hard tyres.
Yeah.
It does seem that Hamilton just doesn't have the outright speed to pass Danny Rick. So maybe he's being really, really clever in how he deploys the battery. And Hamilton's suffering with temperatures, so he can't push as hard as he wants. And the air being thin around here does affect the physics of everything. There's less air, therefore less particles in the air.
I'm assuming that's why he's gone out of the slip there to cool the car.
Yeah, and there's physically less material from the air to pass over the radiators to cool the car. And now you can see there is the Haas roadblock.
Yep.
Maybe we should make an honorary member of our team.
So that is Hulk holding all of those people behind.
Which, let's face it, that's great for Albon, who's on the harder tyres. He doesn't have to push them. He can just sort of sit behind. Looks like, was that Norris complaining?
Yeah.
So the McLaren worried about the temperatures there as well. It looks like it's a hot... We did say hot on the track, didn't we? So maybe there is a little bit of an issue, or over or under calculation of what the temperature was going to be today, and some of the teams are struggling. I'm still stunned that Leclerc's running in P2 with that broken front wing. There we go, Danny and Hamilton down to turn 1. Finally got it.
Yeah, Danny Rick, keep holding it.
Piastri still holding off Russell.
Yeah,
which is impressive. Looks like Russell's coming at him though.
Could we see potentially a few retirees due to the hot conditions? Alpine and
Not that you're predicting that at all, Sarah.
Well, they seem to be reliability-wise, they seem to be the team that, unfortunately, always come up a little bit unlucky.
Sometimes you make your own luck.
Any car, like...
You're right there.
I was just looking at Tsunoda's come into pit.
Yeah, he's gone to hard tyres.
Yeah, gone all the way down. And say he wasn't there a minute ago, and I looked at it again. I was like, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, he is pitted, but maybe he's got some puncture or something, or he's just going and getting some fresh air and going to the hard tyres.
Yeah.
This is one of the circuits. I think it was last year or year before, where Max just did an epic stint on medium tyres, and he just went for absolutely ages on them. I can't remember which year it was. So maybe Snowden's going to try and emulate that. This prototype is mentioned again. There's less air at this circuit just because of the altitude, correct?
Yep. Pedro said, I saw that Danny was the 3rd or 4th fastest driver on the slow corners at this track. Most drivers are doing some management. Danny has been managing quite a lot, and his engineer advised him to keep doing it. Alonso had a retirement around here last season.
Fastest lap Tsunoda. Out in the clear air. He might be undercutting. Maybe it was tactical, sir.
Maybe. And maybe that's a sign that probably all of the medium runners, their tyres are starting to fall off dramatically.
After only 12-ish laps, was it?
Yeah.
It's quite excessive. As we see the Aston Martin drivers swapping places. That's Alonso letting Stroll go. Alonso in 16th. That is a fall from the beginning of the year, isn't it?
Yes. It wouldn't surprise me if he loses where is he? He's 3rd place in the championship at the moment.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just lost interest again. Meh.
Yeah, meh.
Don't want another season like McLaren 2015, thank you. So even Russell's getting out of the turbulent air of Piastri now.
Yeah, it seems like everyone is struggling.
Looks like it is a lot hotter than they were planning for.
Yeah.
Got a message for you, sir.
What was that start, lol? Yeah.
It was Perez. I believe I can fly.
I don't think the Mexican fans are very happy.
No, I'm glad they haven't just walked all out. But
yeah, they're like, oh, home time. See you later.
Yeah, seeing that sidebar damage, I mean, that is... It was the same sort of damage he had against Hamilton. I think it was at Spa. We just had a chunk sort of taken out of the...
My brain's just clicked. Who DNF'd first in our pre-GP? Perez.
Did he?
Yeah, who DNF'd first in the race? Perez. And we said, is that foreshadowing something?
Oh, yeah, we did. And we had Danny Rick out as well.
Maybe we called it. No, no. We can't jinx it.
Who else did we have out? We had
loads of people out.
Being fair, we did. We did have absolutely loads of them. Russell was one of the other ones.
Yes.
So, I think he was first, but it was Perez and him roughly the same sort of time.
Yeah.
So if Russell goes out next, followed by Danny Rick, and we're like,
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done the pre-GP.
Yeah. Well, no, then we're going to see Piastri win and Norris last. So they're all separated out now by about 1.6 to 2 seconds. Max is disappearing at the front as per normal.
Yeah, this is probably the furthest away we've seen a lot of the drivers been from each other, purely because of that struggling with the temperatures. They're having to physically pull themselves out of the slipstream of the car in front, which inherently slows them down. So it's weird to see them so far behind each other. I know it's only a second and a bit, but usually we see them much closer for much longer.
Very true. The only one who's there's only 2 drivers that are remotely close to anyone else, and it's Gasly on the back of Hulk, who, let's face it, Hulk is holding him up. Yeah. And Albon on the back of Zhou, who gets through. And Zhou, I'm not happy with you after that pre-GP. I had a look back at the replay and he yeeted me off.
Hulkenberg is still holding on to that P8. Gasly close behind him. Rob says, this has been an incredibly boring season. I agree with you to a certain degree. I think there's been a few standout races, such as Singapore, and a few good races here and there. Maybe not for the lead, but for everyone else, downwards.
On-track action's been really good. It's just been the win has been dominated by one man.
Yeah, which obviously does bring it down a little bit, but like Midnight just alluded to there, the racing action itself hasn't been too bad. You've had some standout people like Albon doing quite well, and
the McLaren
boys going from so far down on the grid at the start and then to quite frequent podiums. A good development.
I think if both Ferrari and Mercedes hadn't tripped over their own teammates as much, we would have had a lot closer racing, and the championship might still be alive, if mathematically improbable.
I get that.
Either way, Red Bull has just been fantastic this year. And as we've previously said and agreed on before, it's not the fact they've got a super dominant car, because Max is 4 seconds ahead, not 40.
Yeah.
The team are just doing everything they need to do, and they're doing it all correctly. Whereas other teams have tripped over themselves and other people.
Yep.
But like what Perez is doing. I mean, you can see exactly, if he's got exactly the same car, he's doing poorly in comparison.
Yep. And the pressure, like we say, might have got to him, or the car not set up for him as much. Because wasn't it at the start of the season when he was getting those decent results, it was kind of like it wasn't set up for either one of the drivers. It was kind of both of them were happy with it. Probably if they've gone through the season, they probably have favoured Max a bit more. They always seem to do that, like make sure he's happy with the setup. And the second driver is just like, yeah, if you can handle it, great.
Which is why Danny Rick left there originally. Yeah.
Rob says, some of the mid-pack racing has been great, to be fair. True, half of Red Bull. I think that has cemented Perez's fate at Red Bull. Potentially. We were saying, imagine that shot of him just flying up is the shot that kind of seals the deal. That'll be a bit... Oh.
Could well do. I mean, it's very rare I agree with Helmut Marko, but at the end of the day, if he just says Perez's results aren't good enough, this is not going to help.
What is good enough? Because when you have got that, I guess, that golden boy who is always winning races, what will be good enough? Because you're always going to compare your second driver to that golden boy.
If you've got one team member who has got enough points in his own to lead the Constructors' Championship, and the other one isn't P... No, well, if the other one isn't P2 at the end of the year, that says a lot.
I mean,
never mind
P2, but yeah, I was going to say, obviously, with Hamilton getting disqualified from last race, it obviously opened up the gap between them again. But I wonder if Hamilton towards the end can get P2. Obviously, results like today will help in that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely and completely. We'll see what happens. I mean, at the moment of the race that's in front of us, we've got 18 laps down out of 71. Hulkenberg is like the cork in the bottle for the second half of the grid. So we've got Max out front, who's not leaping away. He's probably managing a lot, but the two Ferraris in 2 and 3, and Hamilton in 4th, and it's kind of been static apart from that one move.
Yeah,
Hamilton on Ricciardo, but. Hopefully this will come alive when we start seeing some pit stops. As Pirelli mentioned earlier, we'll put on the screen, that it might be a 1-stop race or a 2-stop race, depending on the tyre wear for teams. I'm expecting, say, Hulkenberg to be on a 2-stop. Max will be a 1-stop.
Yeah, Max is so far ahead at the moment that they don't care much about Checo, unfortunately. He only mattered when he helped Max get in his first title, although I think Checo has been underperforming.
Yeah.
And like Rob says, Max is just cruising. No need to fully send it. He can just sit there all race.
Incident involving Leclerc, the wing plate being loose, it will be investigated after the race. Are the stewards really busy out there at the moment?
Or not busy at all, and they're just like, yep.
Maybe it's an ethical problem. Should we have black flagged him? Should we not have? Maybe it's an internal thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, Max probably is just cruising. Prototypes are something interesting, and I think it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Hit me.
Crowd booing at Max at the end of the race? ?
There's a possibility.
Hmm.
Because obviously the Mexican driver is out of the race. They booed him last time at Austin, so it's a possibility. Although I don't like the booing. I don't think anyone, no matter like who you are, right? They don't need to
unless
boo.
you're an awful person.
Unless you're an awful person, like really awful. I don't think you should boo them.
Yeah. Famously, we've had Hamilton booed, Vettel booed. I don't think anyone ever did it to Michael Schumacher.
Like Pedro said,
well, actually, no, I will take that back, but not in that.
Did have to bring some bodyguards for Max this weekend. Max didn't want any bodyguards. Verstappen's in.
Why did they have to bring bodyguards? If I missed something.
I'm
or was the fact he's just getting too much attention?
Yeah, safety concerns and probably attention. But he didn't want any, but Red Bull went, no, you're having some.
Well, that's weird, because everyone that's in the paddock with him are VIPs.
I don't know.
Okay. That's a different conversation, isn't it?
There's no need to boo, but they have all had it at some point. Yeah, exactly, like you said. Like Midnight said about the Hamilton, Vettel.
Ooh, Hamilton getting a bit sideways.
Yeah.
He's pushing hard. He seems to be the only person out there that's trying to do anything out there. I'm right. Hang on. Where's Max gone?
He pitted.
I completely blanked and missed that.
Yeah,
I completely missed it.
I was like, oh, Max is in.
Oh dear. I just looked at the top and went, Leclerc, where's Max?
That would lead me to believe that it's probably going to be a 2-stop for mostly everyone, right? Because there's no way he's going to last on hards the whole race.
Do you know what? I think the Ferraris are going to try and one-stop it.
Yeah, but look how that planned out last weekend. Not great.
This is Ferrari! You know that thing of Vin Diesel? This is Brazil! This is Ferrari! Logic doesn't matter here.
True.
Oh, dear. Oh, I've been inclined to agree with you, Rob.
It looks like Norris hasn't been able to make much of an improvement as yet.
No. He's also started on soft tyres, and I think he regretted it. I think if you're in traffic in this one, regardless if you're in a Red Bull against who's the slowest at the moment, a Haas, for instance, it's going to take you a while to get past someone, and tyres are melting while you're out there. It's just not enough. Oh, hello. Who do you think's pitting? I'm going to put money on Russell.
Yeah, I'd back that.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Prototype. Not enough air to cool.
Feels like the hot weather has caught them out a little bit, though. They're like, oh, it's actually quite hot. Like the tyres are are melting much more than we expected them to.
Yeah.
Like with the McLarens. Like,
whoa!
Why starting on softs? I don't know.
Max just did Russell from like 100 miles back.
Wow. That straight line speed on that Red Bull, Jesus Christ.
Okay, Max is clearly on a 2-stop. Both of called it. We still think 1-stop is still the best for us. Ferrari. This is Ferrari.
This is Ferrari.
Okay, so now Max on the back of Piastri. He's only going to be 6 or 7 seconds off the back of Hamilton.
That car is insane. Fair play to them. Yeah. the speed on that Red Bull. Jesus.
And new tyres.
Another one I think Red Bull Max is going to catch before the turn 1.
Absolutely. DRS, Honda engine, new tyres, boom, bye.
Yep. See ya.
Yeah. We will see the other teams when they pit for the hard tyres eventually. They will suddenly be on the same pace as Max. Max is going to have to pit again, but he'll then, towards the end, he'll just have so much fresher tyres. He's playing the long game. Lando Alonso. Alonso looks like lost at sea this weekend, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's just kind of like, I don't know, there. I don't know how to describe it.
He had a spin right where he is on track now in turn 3 in Q1, which caused Norris to be dropped out because of the yellow flag. He's just looks like someone else is in his skin this weekend.
Yeah,
maybe it's Drogovic.
Maybe. It just doesn't feel quite as comfortable at the moment. Ferrari plan A, 1 stop. Plan B, 6 stops. Yeah. There's no in the middle with a Ferrari.
No, I saw that and I giggled.
Alonso said he has no trust on the car and that the race is going to be about surviving. Well, it definitely looks like that at the moment. Aston Martin have been bringing some upgrades that favour Stroll, according to them. Why though? Why do that when, out of the points that they have, 3/4 of them, well, probably about 90% of the points, to be fair, Alonso has scored them. I will
say this though, in a counterpoint to that, I think Alonso's more than good enough to be given a car that favours someone else and still drive it better than them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like Danny Rick at McLaren kind of lost at sea completely. It's still Alonso.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe Alonso's just. This weekend, I just don't feel his heart's in it. I can just see it in how he's driving. But as soon as you start feeling that, you start thinking retirement, don't you? Well, he's allowed 1 race off. I mean, maybe it's just a blip. Okay, Hamilton in. So you're going to see, there goes Max. So, okay, Hamilton's clearly not in the chance of the race win now. He's just too far behind Max.
No.
Unless Max somehow ends up on a free stopper. What I'm really surprised at is why were they bothering to try and fix Perez's car, knowing it's going to take him a couple of laps?
I know.
This feels weird.
Yeah.
Why do they keep doing that?
I don't know. Maybe some practice for the mechanics, or just purely because it is the Mexican Grand Prix, they want to get him back out.
Could be.
And then thought,
could
bit too much.
Max back up to P3.
That's a surprise.
Maybe we get to see a Ferrari tactical masterpiece. Signs go right in the middle of the straight and then you get into the side of Verstappen.
Spice up the race.
Hey, Joe did it to me in the pre-GP. I'm not bitter.
Yeah, really not bitter.
I was only running 6th. So, okay. So, well, that's it. That's Ferrari going for the 1 stop.
Doesn't make sense, though, really. I think it's too hot for a 1 stop.
I think the hard tyres can do pretty well here. It's just the speed. Max has just got a lot more speed in hand. I mean, technically speaking, going longer on stops and staying out there, which will keep the airflow over the car rather than stopping twice. Historically, Formula 1 cars explode more after they've just pitted because they've been stopped, and the heat soak in the engine with the no airflow is worse than just keeping going. It's a bit like if you go for a run and you stop and try and go again. It's 10 times harder.
Your muscles are like, whoa,
yeah.
Why do you do that for?
It's like the petrol equivalent of that. Proto says, now we're getting it. Yeah, the physics of it, yeah, it explains itself. The altitude, less air pressure, less cooling, less downforce, the whole lot. It's just Max's speed is going to overcome the cooling problems that the others are having. We had the same problem at Austria a few years back. So in that point of dominance, I think it was 2020, the Mercedes were having, they were super dominant, and that one weekend they just didn't turn up. And it's like, wow, where are the Mercedes? Is this a year-long trend? No, just that one race.
Yeah, it's like Red Bull in Singapore this year.
Yep. Well, that was fascinating by itself. Do you know why Red Bull were off the pace there?
One, that it's probably a bumpy track and the car didn't like it. And two, isn't it because they were the technical directive or something?
I theorised it was a technical directive. It turns out the car still just as quick. So no, it wasn't. However, it was actually because some of the track was smoother. So they put some new tarmac down some of the tighter corners, and some of the cars had so much grip going through there that when the car went through it, it had way more downforce than they thought they were going to have. So it started porpoising. And yeah, it's because the track was a lot quicker that Red Bull didn't calculate it properly.
Yeah.
And then because they'd raised the ride height so high, or not high enough, it was one or the other. It ruined their that weekend.
Yeah.
Because of a miscalculation on the grip of new tarmac. That's all it was.
Well, that's what when they say small margins. Like...
Yeah. And the prototype says Adrian Newey. Yeah. If you track where he has been through F1 since the start of his career, you can literally see he goes to Williams, they win, goes to McLaren, they win, goes to Red Bull. Ooh, funny enough, they win. So there you go. There's Norris. Piastri, sorry, moving up another place. Albon's still out there on the tyres he started the race on, but Albon's probably on the same tyres he was on at Australia 2 years ago.
Yep.
If I may, you go ahead first. I've got a point that will take a while.
I was just reading Pedro's comment. From Silverstone onwards, Aston Martin started struggling a lot more, mainly because of a change in the tyre regulations and the following technical directives.
Yeah. I was just going to say the theory is that Perez hasn't coped because of the tyre change as well, which we saw from Sebastian Vettel. When he had a set of tyres that he liked, he disappeared off down the road and never came back. As soon as the tyres changed, they caught him.
Yeah.
Some drivers are very, very susceptible to the tyres. However, that's no good for Perez saying, "Oh, I don't like the tyres." Everyone else is coping.
Yeah.
Get someone else in. It's just the way Formula 1 is. So, Verstappen back into P2. Nice. How the heck has Leclerc stayed ahead of Sainz with a broken front wing?
No idea.
Sainz does this occasionally. He just sort of goes, I'm the number one driver, and then disappears when Leclerc's got damage, and then Leclerc is in front of him. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Ooh, McLaren on the Alpha into the tight left-hander.
Nice.
Got him.
Yeah.
And the outside. Norris is looking handy now. He's up to 9th.
Yep. They were saying that obviously in that hard tyre quite good round here. And but it might affect him later on in the race, obviously, because he might have to pit again. He's on them quite early.
Yeah. Well, he knows he can just go to hard tyres again, and if he's got the pace, he can just cut back through again while everyone else is on dead tyres.
Yeah.
And now they're just showing the
heartbroken Mexican ones.
Did you see a great big puff of black smoke
I was
at the back
say,
of that
I thought there was a bit of black smoke. I don't know if it was my eyes or not. I saw that as well.
That would be Stroll and Tsunoda. Yeah, it could just be brake dust, but keep an eye on that. And Alonso's now 5 seconds behind these. Oh, where he goes in the pit. I'm still surprised at the pace of Alonso this weekend. I mean, as Pedro said, if he's just surviving out there, as Tsunoda makes his way past Stroll.
Nice, you done?
Yeah. It's unlike Alonso just to have a weekend where he's just not doing anything.
I mean, I guess they're allowed like 1 weekend off, right?
When you pay $20 million a year?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't feel like it this year. I'm just not dialed in.
Yeah, just
You just not be dialed $1 million. Okay.
I'll take the $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah, and prototype. Stop mentioning Joe. Me and him need to have words.
So if it is one stop and Sainz is pitted now, he's got to last 40 laps on hard tyres. Is it doable?
Doable, yes. Won't be quick.
Yeah, I'll say, is it good? We don't know yet.
I think the race is still on.
I
mean, if we look at it as it is now, we're coming up to halfway. Max has got to pit one more time. Leclerc's got to pit one more time. Sainz is now going to undercut Max a little bit, so he's going to get back in front of Max. So, if presuming Leclerc hits, we'll say next lap or lap after, Max is going to have to go a long way to then be able to have a lot of speed to be able to overcut Leclerc and pass him on track. So this is Ferraris. They're not out of the question to win.
No.
I mean, Max is probably going to have to repass Sainz, who would be on fresher rubber than this last time, and then get past Leclerc as well. So,
Joe says something is overheating on the car.
Oh.
You can smell a burning.
If we get a safety car now, Max will be pitting and into the lead by a long way. The race isn't over.
No, just yet.
Although I've just noticed Hamilton massively undercut Sainz.
Yeah.
6.5 seconds.
Yeah, although obviously 7 lap old mediums now.
Yeah, I suppose he's going to have to pit again, isn't he?
Potentially.
Realistically. Ooh! I did that a few times in a pre-GP.
Yeah.
Not that exact thing, but that little squiggle.
Little bit of a wiggle.
His tyre's going to be a little bit dirty.
Dirty.
That was a good move from the Alpine, running outside of Joe. Now, can Leclerc have a little bit of pace over Verstappen on this newer set of tyres? I mean, that is going to be where this is going to be telling. If Max can pull away from Leclerc on new tyres, then it's race over.
Yeah.
Hamilton and Mercedes feel like they might be going to the end. Interesting.
Already been on for 7 laps. Well, I don't know.
It's very bold.
Yeah.
Maybe they are hoping for a safety car.
Yeah, I was going to say either safety car or they're hoping that the people around them are going to stay on the same as well.
Yellow flag, sector 2. Oh!
Oh! That's... Ouch!
Good God!
That's
He's
bad.
gone backwards in somewhere. Okay, that's Max getting a free pit stop. Holy heck!
K-Mag, you okay?
He looks winded.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, that is a full safety car, at very least. Youch! That may even be a red flag.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I agree with you, Robert. This is throwing things right out.
It has.
Yeah, that's... Oh, I think that's borderline red flag.
Yeah.
Good news is for Leclerc and... Well, Leclerc, really. That is very much
if
only
I was
like
Hamilton,
one lap
I'd
of
come
tyres. Yeah, but what is he going to go on to?
If they've got another set of hards, I'd put them on.
I don't think they do.
They don't, then they're...
If our correspondent from Portugal could find out what tyres Hamilton has left, I'd be very grateful.
Okay, Mac.
Fire.
Oh, it's on fire! That might be red flag. It's on fire.
Where are the marshals?
K-Mac's just looking at it like, uh-oh.
Oh, there they are. Okay, so he's going to have lost the back end. He's going to go on into it backwards. Has he gone on the curb?
Yeah,
Has he hit the curb? Or is he just... Going to go to the right. Oh, yeah. That's either a sudden puncture or he's gone up on the curb and just flicked it. Whoa! Yeah, that does look like suspiciously like a suspension failure.
Yeah, as I say, nothing looked obviously wrong.
Yeah, you can see it. No, you can see it. Just as he goes round, the right rear tilts to the right and then just yeets him off. Unless it's a trick of the camera, that looks like a suspension failure. Rear suspension failure. I would put that money on that. Ooh, Croffy has just said something interesting. Is that a result of the heat?
Potentially.
Has it overheated and melted something? Oh, that's interesting. That's a possibility. Red flag. Called it.
Yeah.
It's exactly halfway. We have a half race.
Good night, guys. Bye. See ya.
Okay.
What's it? That steering failure?
I would put money on it being a rear right suspension failure going over that curb. Until we see it in slow motion, I can't be certain. But I could swear I saw the right rear tilt to the right, which would indicate one of the top links has come off or melted, or something in the hub itself. And then as soon as that happens, the bottom right basically collapses. And then you ended up with three wheels on one side and, three wheels working on the right-hand side collapsing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's surprising. Prototype says 20 days to Vegas billboard. There is talk of it.
You go first.
It can wait. It's not important.
I was just listening to the commentators. Obviously, now it's red flag. They can change Leclerc's wing with no penalty.
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that. Nice one. That's good for the race.
Yeah.
And if we're going to have another grid start, which we should do, Max is in the worst position. Interesting.
Although Norris came into pit. Yeah, he came into pit, but he only came out P10. Obviously, they would have got technically a free pit stop. They got a slightly cheaper one, but obviously they can get a free pit stop.
Yeah, it's one of those. You see an accident, you stay out and hope it's a red flag, or do you pit straight away and hope it's just a safety car? It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're all talking about the accident over the radio.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to say, just to get it out of the way, just because it's in my head at this time, Vegas is coming up, obviously, in a few weeks. There is talk of it only happening once because the organisation behind it has basically gone, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
Too much disruption.
One and done, basically.
Yeah. Which we all looked at and went, why? Anyway, they could easily put it there's loads, I want to say there's loads, they could easily find another track to put that on. I mean, God, just give it to Turkey. I mean, a load of us love that Germany. Track. Yeah. Hockenheim, Nürburgring, alternate it between them two. Don't care. Alternate it between Turkey, Nürburgring, and Hockenheim. I'd be very happy. Actually, I want all three on the calendar, but that's besides the point.
You'd think, though, where, like you say, they'd go back to a track that kind of already has the infrastructure to deal with a race and not to just like cause that amount of disturbance. But this is Formula One, and money talks.
Money.
Like, I saw, like, have you seen some of the ticket prices or the menu for like the Vegas Grand Prix and how much it is actually going to be?
Oh, it's going to be similar to Miami times 2, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but it's like, even for like a standing ticket, I believe it was like nearly like several £1,000s for a standing ticket.
Prototype says Sid.
Look at the.
Oh, it was the left one.
Left rear. The left rear
it was
went
left
like
rear,
that.
Not right rear then. Yeah. I called the wrong side, but yeah, it was rear suspension.
It's going to take some time. Tech Pro's mashed, yeah.
Yeah. That's only foam, at least. I mean, they might have to replace it, though. Prototype says Sid Watkins says if the weather bad enough or no the race would be cancelled. Oh, medevac helicopter, yeah. Sid Watkins actually died a few years ago, but I know what you're referring to. What he said, that if the helicopter can't take off or there is no on-site hospital, that sort of thing, then races will be cancelled. And weather, yeah. I know what you're referring to. So either massive wheel tyre failure for K-Mag or suspension failure.
Might be me being a bit dumb. Or
go for it.
Yeah. The tyre blankets.
Yes.
I know they obviously wanted to keep the tyres warm. But you'd think, with a warm track, hopefully they're not heating those tyres up too much that they're going to be cooked. They're heating them up to like a fair amount, keep them warm, but not like, like really, really hot.
Overheating them. There is a good explanation. It's a very good point, sir. Long story short, is they're designed, I think they're capped at a certain temperature these days. Like, I want to say it's either 50 or 80 degrees. I think it's 50. But Pedro's correct, they can regulate it.
Yeah, I was just because I thought, imagine if they're like, you'd think like the sun would be enough, or the temperature. I understand why they're keeping them warm, ready to race, though. I thought, like, hopefully they don't affect like the tyre life by just cooking them basically while they're just sat there.
They can do if they're turned on all the way and overheated.
Yeah.
However, Formula 1 tyres work in the range of over 100 degrees. You pour water on it, it will boil straight away. Those tyre blankets don't go hot enough. The problem they've got is they need to be, because the tyres work basically in a chemical reaction, as well as making them more sticky, is they grip the circuit because of the heat that they have generated in them. Yeah. So if they're cold, they do not work. So long story short is they won't be overheated. However, I agree with you. If they let them be a bit cooler, they will last longer. But it's a very, very fine line between cool tyres that just about work and cold tyres which will have them skittering off into the barrier because of cold tyres. So it's a very fine line there.
I just thought, I didn't want to be like, when you think,
no, you're right.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, you'd think they'd either cool them for one, try and preserve them, or two, heat them up, but like not too hot, so that they're ready to race, but they're not like too hot that they're literally just gonna, when they break, they're just gonna slide, basically.
No, you're right to question it. No, you're very right to question it. And some of the teams will probably be dialing a change of temperature in on those blankets, but they don't work until they reach a certain temperature. And to do that, they've got to heat them first.
Yeah.
So what's a good analogy? Can't really think of one at the moment. When I think of one, I'll let you know. But essentially, if they're not switched on, if they're not heated, they don't work. I mean, there might as well be a block of rock on your wheels. It's like they say skating on ice.
Well, like
they
Rob
don't work
said,
until the
they're not hooked up. It's just slowing the cooling. So they might just have them on. Okay, kind of keep the heat that's already in them in the blanket, but not.
I hope they show them, because I would imagine they are hooked up now. Because once they're with anything, after you start putting energy in it, you can see that car, that pass is still a bit on fire.
Yeah.
So there's obviously very hot in there, and that's going to be a big repair bill. Anywho, as soon as you start putting energy into anything, it will start cooling down, and then they start getting into that territory where the tyres won't work. So it's tricky. They will be hooked up and turned on at some point, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Prototype says if the brakes get cool too many times, it will warp or crack. And I'm not sure of the reference, like Dr. Doom Chemical 101, but I know what you're getting at scientifically. If you heat and cool things too many times, they will warp and crack. It's like you see it with concrete. I mean, how often do you drive down a road and you see cracks in it because of weather erosion? Same thing.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, that's turned the race on its head, hasn't it?
It has.
I think that's our first red flag this year. No, it's not.
No, I feel like the earlier races, we definitely had red flags.
And then they started whichever one it was behind the safety car, rather than doing a grid start. I was thinking Zandvoort.
I think it was Australia, because wasn't it this year?
It was this year sometime.
They tried, when Albon went off and it basically threw the gravel onto the track.
Oh yeah, that was Australia.
And we had that red flag and then a rolling start for like 2 laps. The 2 Alpines took each other out. Massive crashes going into the first corner, and we were just like, oh.
We were both right. Apparently Zandvoort did as well.
High five.
We're both right. High five. Nice. You remember half, I remember the other half.
Yeah.
Deal.
You were right about the fans. Loads have left.
Have they?
Yeah. They probably like...
It's a shame. I do have a question to ponder.
What's your
question? We know why F1's gone back to Zandvoort. It's because of Max Verstappen.
Yep.
That is absolutely fair. If you've got a big time driver, you need to have them a home race. Which I've always felt sorry for the Finnish drivers, because they've never had a Helsinki Grand Prix or something like that.
Max, I believe, is also half Belgium.
He is.
So technically he has 2 home races.
He does.
So,
but the question being is, if Perez wasn't in F1, would we have a Mexican Grand Prix? I will state one thing in favour of yes, there would be. This track has been F1 grade, I'm going to use that in air quotes, for decades. They used to race here in the 80s at very least.
Yeah, it's
and
always
into the 90s.
Been ready.
Yeah. It's been there. I mean, they redeveloped it for the new one, but would they have bothered coming back?
Oh, good question. I'd like to think yes, but it's questionable, like you say, if they would or not if Perez wasn't there. But then saying it's probably similar with other tracks. Drivers aren't from there, so there isn't a need to go there. But I suppose they're kind of like, I guess, going into these different countries, basically ticking off, like, so that people can say, oh, they didn't do a race in my part of the world or something, and everyone's basically going, yeah, no, we have, like, we've done it here, there, darted everywhere. Some of the calendar doesn't make sense, of course, but
It's getting better, the calendar.
Yeah, I think they're kind of, I guess, what's the word? Making it accessible to everyone in terms of like place-wise, but not money-wise.
I do personally think they're focusing a little bit too much on the countries around the Red Sea, the Arabic countries. We now have Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia,
money.
Baku. Well, I know Baku's not technically one of those, but money.
Money. Is.
It's like I'm very much a traditionalist when it comes to a lot of these F1 tracks. I mean, you could argue Turkey shouldn't be one of them, but I just love the track.
Yeah.
So, Bahrain, I think, is a cornerstone. I think that is a great Grand Prix. I like the track. Saudi Arabia, I hate it.
Yeah.
In terms of the track. Qatar, I'm unsold on it. Baku, I don't like it. It's just a straight track. Anyhow, that's besides the point of personal preferences. And as Prototype said, Perez is sponsored by a company funded to his team that FIA needed it. Well, money talks.
Yeah, money does talk.
Looks like they're all getting back in the cars. Looks like we might be on for race part 2. This could be interesting down into turn 1. What's your thoughts, Sarah?
Yeah, it could be, obviously. Max has swapped places with one of the Ferraris. He's got that. If he can get a good start, obviously, probably sealed the win. But if one of the Ferraris can get a nice little slipstream from him, might be on for good or a decent race. Well, half of a race.
We shall see.
I wonder if they have changed Leclerc's front wing.
They would have. I mean, absolutely. Well, you called that spot on. So, order for restart: 1, 16, 44, 55, 3, 81, 63, 22, 27, 4, 10, 23, 24, 31, 2, 77, 18, 14. Sounds like the weirdest bingo night ever, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
Could we see a good start from Hamilton, maybe?
I think we're going to have to wait and see what all tyres these guys are on. I think now we're looking at... Okay, to say this is the race start, we're now looking at a no-stop race.
Okay.
If they're all on the hard tyres. If someone's got some guts out there, they'll go medium.
Yeah, I suppose it's now that they're halfway through, it's like...
Yeah. The fuel's lighter and all sorts.
Is there a need to stop again? Probably not for most of them.
More than anything, is the time to be able to do a stint, pit, do another stint, and get back to where you were.
You see the camera zooming right into their steering wheel?
Yeah, did they pick up anything? I wasn't paying close enough attention to it.
No, but obviously a lot of teams don't like showing off their buttons, do they?
True, they don't.
The cameraman zoomed right into the Alpine steering wheel, just being like, "Oh, what buttons do you have there?"
Cameraman got his money's worth there.
Yeah. He'll sell it to all the other teams later and be like, "Yeah, what see what buttons they have." All of them might not work because it's an Alpine, but go for it.
Yep. And to answer Pedro's question, Leclerc's front wing, I would imagine, has been changed. It is legal to change damaged parts under FIA Bart Verme.
Or Leclerc reckon it's going to be a huge mess.
Yeah, Leclerc was on one lap old tyres, so I don't know if he would have bothered changing. Max probably wouldn't have bothered changing either.
Yeah, Norris obviously 1 lap old hards as well.
Yeah. Prototype says Hamilton's favourite routine on restart, placing his hand on the wheel, the other hand behind the wheel. Yeah, the reason he does that is they have a switch on the back of the wheel, which is how he screwed up Baku a few years back by accidentally pressing it and then changing the brake balance to completely the wrong side. And it doesn't really matter. He reaches around the wheel and pushes a button which sets the brake balance to whatever default, whatever they've got.
Yeah, isn't there a way of him not clicking like, because you've got the up shifts and the down shifts as well, it's preventing him from almost like clicking the wrong one as well. Because I've seen it where he puts his hand over, like underneath, which looks like a paddle.
Yeah,
in a way to stop him pressing it or doing something. I know what you're referring to with the hand behind the wheel.
Yeah, it is something along those lines for him. And I just noticed something a little bit interesting. Hamilton didn't have his... I mean, bear in mind it's like an inch or two. He didn't have his overalls done all the way up. Maybe he's a bit hot under the collar.
I mean, what they've got to wear, like the fireproof underwear, like the balaclava, helmet, everything in the car themselves.
Not as bad as a guitar, mind you.
Yeah, I was going to say, not as bad as a guitar. But obviously, a little bit hot.
Looks like all of the teams, as you can see, the air coming out of the side pods of the McLaren, looks like they're all running dry ice through the car. This is actually going to be saving a lot of the cars, allowing them to cool them down.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see much enhanced reliability because of it.
Why are they holding another helmet for Hamilton? Is there an issue?
It does appear to be. It's been strapping him in for quite a while.
Yeah.
Now, my question is this going to be a grid start? Okay, I called it. Yes, he wasn't strapped in properly. They've been having problems with his radio or something.
Yeah.
So they've definitely been having problems with his radio or something. Starting procedure at 8:15. So they've got 2 minutes to get him all settled in. Now, yeah, so restart procedure. Are we going to have a grid start or are we going to have a safety car? My knowledge of this is supposed to be, as you can see, half the Mexican audience are leaving. Right. There's a guy with a turkey on his head. But anywho, my knowledge of this is it's supposed to be a grid start.
Yeah. Yeah, it says race control standing start procedure.
Did it say standing or standard?
Standing start.
Oh, thank goodness. So why did they start like was it Zandvoort and Australia behind the safety car? I can't remember.
I think because it was so far into the race. Obviously, Australia had like literally 2 laps left. I thought, what was the point? I can't remember Zandvoort's one. So
I can't remember either. I've got to the point where my brain won't accept any more
wasn't
details.
Wasn't it Zandvoort because it was raining really badly, like really badly?
Okay, that one I can understand then. Yeah. Yes, it was because it would. We just seen a load of cars yeet themselves off into the barriers. Yeah, you're correct. But yeah, because they didn't want to do it even when they started racing again. It was intermediates time, and they still didn't go back to thingy. No, Europe. Yeah. As Pedro said, any predictions for the race restart? Oh, apparently Australia wasn't behind the safety car. Okay. I've just reached the point.
They started for 2 laps left, and we were like, huh? Then that's when everyone literally took each other out. It was so pointless.
I've forgotten it all. I need to go back and watch the highlights. I can't remember anything anymore. I've had... What year are we in? 23. I've had about 30 years of F1. And my brain is just not accepting any more information. I can remember all the stuff from the early 2000s, but I can't remember what happened this year. Especially we've now got like 23, 24 races this year.
Yeah, it's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
It might have been
also,
because there were 2 flags. Yeah, I think Australia did have 2 red flags. We was like, they're dishing out those red flags like nothing.
I'll get to look at the highlights.
Well, we can do our annual year roundup in December.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to. So my question is: have we got China this year, or was that cancelled still?
That was cancelled because that was supposed to be earlier this year. It was China and Imola were cancelled this year, I believe, wasn't it?
Imola due to the floods. The only reason why I mentioned China is because the sheer fact I looked at the F1 game earlier on, and it was late on the calendar, like it was the last 3 or 4. That's the only reason why I was just thinking, yeah, it must be cancelled because we've talked about the calendar already, and we say it's Interlagos after this.
It was meant to be quite
Vegas.
early in the season.
Yeah.
I think because of COVID again, the numbers were increasing, and they thought, no.
Yeah. And yes, Prototype, they used to have Vegas back in the 1980s, and it was a horrible track, and it took place in the car park of Caesar's Palace, the only Grand Prix to be named after, like a place like Caesar's Palace. So, and apparently it was awful. That alongside Detroit was apparently horrible as well. Bit before my time.
Hamilton's on mediums.
Ooh.
Piastri's on mediums. Russell's on mediums. Hulk's on mediums. Norris is back on mediums. Albon on mediums. Ocon on mediums. Sargent on mediums. Everyone else hards. Tsunoda on a new set of hards.
Zhou on 13 lap-old hard tyres. What the hell? Alfa Romeo, have you gone to sleep?
I don't know if mediums are the right call here, you know.
If he's thinking he can get out in the lead and double and pit and go much quicker to the end, maybe.
Maybe.
Prototype says he's on wet tyres. Whatever you're doing, mate, knock yourself out. Is it me, or does that building in the background look like Sonic the Hedgehog?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Or very least like Bowser. It's Bowser.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
Mexican Bowser. Tequila.
Yeah, at the end of the race, he's just going to
go... Right, here we go. Race 2. Half GP time.
Right. It's lights out and half the race to go. Woo!
Lights out, part 2. Here we go.
Nice.
Now, okay, Max is not going to have any form of slipstream. Oh, I can already see what's going to happen here. Leclerc's going to be too worried about what Hamilton's doing to focus on trying to take Max.
Dusty again on that start. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Too
They're all behaving. They're all behaving.
They all survived. Oh, I said that too late. No. They all survived.
Yeah. Danny Rick still in the top 6. Somewhere. Did Russell get ahead of him somewhere?
Yeah, I think he made a slight mistake coming out of the corner.
Whoa, Piastri.
Whoa. Oh, Norris didn't get a very good start.
Max is he's turned the engine up to absolute full beans. Well, I suppose I can't actually change it now. But he's going full beans, trying to get away from that Ferrari and Merc.
Yeah.
So Lewis has got to try and do Leclerc quick if he's going to make these medium tyres mean anything.
Yeah, like Pedro said, I don't think the mediums will last till the end, you know.
I would agree. I imagine he's going to stop again. Yeah, no DRS for 2 laps, as Martin Brundle just said. It's effectively like a sprint. This is a sprint race now.
True.
The full points. Did you hear the suggestion that was been kicking around about sprint races?
Yeah.
Reverse championship positions. Been saying this for years.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what BTCC do, and some other ones, even like the F1 Academy, where I think in the F1 Academy, the second race, they reverse the top 8. Something like that.
Similar to F2, then they do top 10, don't they?
Like BTCC, I think it's 6 to... No. I can't remember. It's 1 to 6 or it's 1 to 12, and they reverse the order. So that half of the grid basically flipped.
Yeah, I still believe reverse championship positions is the way to go, but this is me. So Max retains the lead, and obviously he was electric off the start again.
Leclerc really shut the door there, didn't he, on Hamilton?
Yep. I mean, they're so busy fighting each other.
Wiggling so much.
Who knows?
He really compromised Danny's line there.
He probably just didn't want him to get past. So, view from Norris. What happens with him? He's got the sole remaining Haas.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He got solid up.
Oh! He did well to get out of the throttle there. That's going to drop him back down miles, though.
Yeah.
He was getting squeezed. If Norris didn't get out of that, at least Hulkenberg was going airborne, or maybe even himself.
Maybe.
Okay, so here comes Hamilton. Max has got 2 seconds away from Leclerc already. So you can... Yeah, okay, here we go. DRS is enabled. You can see Hamilton's got so much more raw speed than that Ferrari at this point. So my money is on, if Hamilton can get out into the lead and push like absolute stink, he might be on for a lap 55-ish pit stop to go to a medium tyres again.
Yeah.
If he's got another set of mediums to play with. I'd like to see that Magnussen crash again at some point, though. How about yourself, Sarah?
Yeah, same. I think I definitely, on the last few replays, I definitely saw that left rear tyre just almost like buckle in a way, and change the direction, which obviously then prevented Magnussen from doing any sort of turning. And then there was a boom.
At that point, he's a passenger.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here comes Hamilton. He's going to be too far behind, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, Leclerc late move. The thing is, for Leclerc, the longer he can hold Hamilton back, the better chance he has of maintaining that position.
Oh, Danny's going back. No, that's Sonoda. Well, that was Danny then. Oh. Sonoda.
So did I. So yeah, Sonoda was challenging Piastri. That's interesting. What's up, Oh, Sonoda's got Piastri and DRS down to the first, or next chicane, rather.
Doing a bit of switching. Oh, Piastri's got him back.
Oh, okay. Russell complaining about Sainz weaving.
He did weave on the start of the restart, but we haven't really seen him since.
See, I feel weaving is a bit of a weird one in F1. If you're weaving to break the toe, I think that is allowed. If you're weaving to put people off, that is not allowed. Weaving in the braking zone, that is not allowed. If you're at the beginning of a straight, weaving just to break the toe... Yeesh! Okay, Hamilton gets past Leclerc. New shorts, please.
Yeah.
So Hamilton's going to have a second bout of DRS, so Leclerc shouldn't get past. Russell in the background looks like he's coming at Sainz still. So, do you know what? That's very late from Leclerc.
Yeah, I always think, because obviously I've just listened to them saying as well, obviously they're allowed to like make one move and then that's it. And obviously they've got to make sure that the front wing of their competitor is nowhere near them.
Yeah.
But surely you're like, right, they're running out of road. Like, you either don't make the move and you know it's like inevitable, or you make a slight move, but not that drastic, like there's no room to go.
Which we've pointed out before, whenever we've seen Max shove people off.
Because surely even the dust from kicking up that's not going to help the next lap. Like in
Probably
terms
not.
Of track surface and like dust in the engine and all that.
Fortunately, most of that be kicked up by the rear tyres, so it's more the person behind you's problem.
Yeah.
And your tyres. So, for Hamilton, that would have been a very brief but a big annoyance. For the person that went through it behind them, they'd probably been more annoyed by it.
Yeah, like, what?
It was like a couple of years ago, Ricciardo at Austria kept going over the same little kink in the road and flicking up dust to annoy the person behind.
Oh yeah,
he did it on purpose. I can't remember who was behind him.
Wasn't that at yeah, Austria? I can't remember. I'm trying to think now. I think he would literally just clip it slightly and it would flick up dirt.
Yeah, I want to say Gasly. I was thinking someone like that, or maybe Kvyat when he was in a Red Bull or something to that effect.
Yeah.
It was when Danny was in a Renault, I think. Or McLaren. One or the other. Right, so Hamilton 3.6 behind Max, 3.7. I think Max is going to get this.
Yeah.
Hamilton says he thinks it's going to be a tough stint. Surely he's not going to do half the race on the set of medium
I was
tyres.
going to say, surely not with this temperature.
If Lewis is going to have any chance of beating either the Ferraris or Max, it's not going to be Max. Max is pulling away now, despite being on harder tyres. If Lewis is going to beat the Ferraris, he's going to have to probably pit again, but he's going to have to pull out a big gap.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's not pitting, then it's going to be tough.
I've heard the same thing from Bono twice now. We've got every opportunity. Basically, you're going to have to make the opportunities. You're going to have to make it happen. All right, thanks, Bono.
I was saying, if he's wanting to pit, he's going to have to literally zoom down the road now.
Yeah. He's going to have to be a minimum of 10 seconds ahead to be able to catch and pass the Ferraris.
But even a track like this is under temperature. Do you really want to be following loads of other cars with the temperature issues?
Ideally not. Yeah. However, we have seen Max on fresh tyres make his way through the field relatively quickly.
True.
That said, Max has an advantage of having that Honda engine.
I like Pedro's answer. No!
It's right.
Yeah. Straight to the point, though.
Yeah, Lewis needs a lot more speed than what he's got, or to have the tyre-saving stint of his life. Leclerc's been told to lift off.
Temperature, I guess, stuck behind that Mercedes.
Could be. Him. Or it's fuel.
Or fuel, yeah.
Or they're trying to let Sainz catch up and give Sainz some DRS. Big brain thinking.
Maybe, but I think it might be purely because of the temperature.
Could well be. I'm trying to give it more options, but I think you're probably right.
Even George there with DRS, he's moving out of the slipstream still.
However, Danny Rick is still on the back of George Russell.
Gimme the DRS.
RS. Okay, so they're expecting Hamilton's tyres, the deg on Hamilton's tyres, to start kicking in a few laps. And even then, Hamilton's still got 25, 26 laps to the end from now.
Yeah.
They have to stop that Merc again.
Surely.
So he's kind of stuck between two strategies. A long stint on the softer tyre or two short stints on a softer tyre.
Yeah. I feel like like you said, the hards might be the go-to tyre because of track position. If you stay on the hards, you're probably gonna inherit the positions of people on the softer tyre, like the mediums, But also, you technically don't have to pit again. So
from here, definitely.
I feel like the people that went on medium, especially like Norris, Russell, Hamilton,
I'm gonna have to pit again.
they're gonna have to pit again. Oh, Piastri maybe as well. I feel like they should have kept on hards. Then they could have potentially raced, knowing that they can probably keep that position and be fine. Where they're now having to like really go for it in order just to potentially pit again.
Yeah, but Hamilton doesn't look like he's got the pace to be able to work out an extra pit stop. He's gained 4 seconds on Leclerc. He's going to need at least double that to offset his pit stop, which will be about 22, 23 seconds. And he'll come out around about Sargent, I would imagine.
Yeah, potentially. Tsunoda has benefited quite a lot from that red flag. Yeah. Alonso's not doing very well, is he? Way down in 18th.
Yeah, Alonso's pace this weekend is so odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's for him. Oy, 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 oy. Do you know what? All credit there to the Alpine driver who got out of it. Ocon.
Like, oh.
Shame he doesn't do it whenever I'm on track next time. So, okay, Norris is definitely foot to the floor, just going for it, which is fine.
And he's got to, really, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, what we do see sometimes, people who pit for tyres despite being behind someone can catch them by the end just because of the offset in new tyre pace.
Yeah. Ooh.
Do you know what? That was inch perfect from Norris.
Literally,
Ow.
yeah.
Ow. And nearly went up the back of Hulkenberg. Nearly went into the side of Ocon. Ocon's got something hanging off the back of his car as well. Can't be good. Oh, that was a hell of an overtake. I have to give him credit for that. So, but Danny Rick still running top 6.
Yeah.
Pretty impressed with that.
To be fair, the AlphaTauri this weekend, Noda's only in P8 as well.
Yeah, it's good for them. It's great for the fight for 7th.
Yeah.
Them, Williams and Haas are all fighting over it. Looks like Haas is heading towards the back again. So yeah, Russell's still on the back of Sainz. Nearly had a lunge into turn 1 there. What is it with Sainz, though? I just don't understand him.
Maybe he's very track specific.
Yeah, could well be.
Like you say, sometimes he's really on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's so on it that he's his own race engineer.
Yeah, true. True.
And sometimes, like you say, he's just kind of just there. Just driving.
Yeah. And then Leclerc gets damaged and Leclerc takes off down the road. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, not really. Yeah.
If both drivers stay in these positions, AlphaTauri will overtake Haas and possibly Alfa Romeo. Oh, sideways moment there from Piastri, who's defending like hell from Tsunoda at the moment, who's, he's looking on it this weekend, Tsunoda, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's nice to see him all racy and not crashy.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I wonder what happened to Alonso.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's been carrying a problem all this time.
Maybe.
So, a little bit of a late move from Piastri, but just about fair. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why he went sideways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very well controlled by Piastri there.
Yeah, I don't like how he kind of ran Tsunoda out the road.
No, but I suppose that happens when you come 2 by 2. Like...
Yeah. Those corners are always tricky to go side by side on. Because one into the other, into the other, into the other. So that's where accidents do happen. Here we go again. Yeah, here we go again. That was always going to happen, Tsunoda.
I was going to say, that was a recipe for disaster, that. I want to see a replay on that.
Question is, was that Piastri's fault or Tsunoda's fault? As we see, Albon and Norris.
Yeah.
Piastri should be fine in terms of damage. Tsunoda might be swearing a lot under his helmet. Wait for the replay on that.
Right.
Here we go. So late around the outside for Tsunoda. Come on, Sarah, talk us through this.
Oh, turns in. He turns in.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
It looks like he turns into him. You can see that obviously he's gone for that late lunge. He's gone for the turn in. Oh, I don't think that's I don't think that's Piastri's fault. He stayed on his line, narrow to the corner, and unfortunately, he can't change the width of his car there. So I feel like that's a turn 1 incident and a recipe for disaster, turning in to a car that can't just disappear.
Correct. As Nick says, what's up? Angry Yuki noises.
Angry Yuki noises, yeah. Been noted by race control.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
If it stays there.
Don't get me wrong, right? I've always had this about Tsunoda. That whenever he's doing well, something happens. I don't know if that's because obviously he's not in those sort of positions a lot. But I've always said that, not to be mean, but I think AlphaTauri have given him a lot more chances than any other AlphaTauri drivers.
I agree.
And I feel like, when is it time to... not let him go, but time to...
try someone else.
Someone else. And obviously Yuki brings in the money. And also, apparently he is quite fast, obviously, because he's quite small. Which obviously, quite small, weighs a lot less.
That's brilliant for an F1 team.
Brilliant for an F1 driver. But, I don't know. Yeah. Like Nick says, without Honda backing, he'd have been gone a long time ago.
I'll say one thing on this topic very briefly. I think Red Bull can finance both teams completely in-house without any sponsors should they want to. So money, to me, isn't the biggest factor about it. However, Nick has hit the nail on the head there, I feel. Because of Honda, who supply their engines, or used to at this point, will still kind of help out. It's kind of in between there, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've ended up with the technical expertise of Honda because they've had a driver that they've liked in there. Now that Red Bull are pairing up with Ford and whatnot,
they don't need that connection.
Not next year, 2026. I don't think we'll see Yuki in a Red Bull team.
No, because when the rumor came out of obviously Yuki potentially going to Red Bull as a reserve driver, I don't feel he's, even after 3 or 4 years, I don't think he's mature enough to go into that second Red Bull, even as a full-time driver or a reserve driver. Yeah,
he's not going higher than where he is.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's stuck in that Red Bull second team seat. He's stuck
at worst,
in the
he
Red
needs
Bull
to leave
family.
the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, that might be the only place he can go because it's the only place he can get the backing.
Yeah.
Either way.
But don't get me wrong, before that incident, he was doing quite well. But it always seems to make that silly mistake in a way. See, that's how you get through turn 1, side by side.
Yep.
It can be done. Sometimes.
And that's just a little bit more experience from Gasly, who's also ex-Red Bull family, passing the... What was that, Bottas? What was that? It was Bottas. Yeah.
As Pedro said, Yuki came into F1 with barely any experience, it must be said. He has matured, but he's definitely prone to mistake. There was no need to go for a move there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at very least, he could have not squeezed.
After 3 years, the much experience can't really be used as an excuse, because obviously saying like someone like Nick de Vries.
Yeah. He only had 6 months.
Only had 6 months. And they went, nope, you're out. See you later. Bye-bye.
Mm. Yeah, the way they treated de Vries compared to Yuki is horrible.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And I'd completely forgotten about de Vries, but yeah, that's a whole different can of worms, isn't
obviously he's going back to... He's studying, and he's also doing going to be doing Formula E next year.
Yeah, that surprised me. You hear 2 different things. Like, I'm going to, I don't know, whatever uni it was, and I'm going to do Formula E. Huh? Okay. So, yeah, there's that. Prototype says Tsunoda might be meant for a Toyota sort of revival. It's possible. I mean, Toyota historically do like Japanese drivers.
Yeah, or whenever Honda goes to another team, maybe
that's
potentially.
I think Nick or Pedro mentioned that earlier.
Potentially, there could be a move there if obviously they keep that back in.
ID, I can't remember what his first name was. ID. He was terrible. He was like a super Aguri driver. I think he was.
Yuki.
Oh well. Right, back to the race at hand.
Hamilton, I don't need your information. I don't need anything. Right. Someone's a bit salty.
He's annoyed.
I think it didn't help that Nick de Vries was relatively old, rude, and there was a lot of expectation because of experience in other series. Yuki's been linked to Aston Martin a few times. Yeah. It's still harsh though, even though he was older than your typical driver. You give him 6 months experience in a car that's obviously very different to like a Formula E car.
Yeah, it wasn't
still quite harsh. Wasn't he the one that was so bad that he got his super license revoked?
I was just thinking, I don't think it was him. But I can't remember the driver I'm thinking of or who it was. I thought it wasn't Young, who's Malaysian. It was that era. It might have been Heidi. It was Heidi. Okay. I can't remember if it was him or one of the other ones, because there was a bunch of drivers that were transferring in and out of Minardi and a couple of the other teams down the bottom end at that kind of time.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was him or not. And to answer Prototype's question, statement, I've never seen a British driver in Ferrari. I have one, and it was Nigel Mansell in like 89 or 90, and when he was paired with Prost for a year or 2. I don't remember it, but I've seen videos. The last time there was a British driver in Ferrari was like 34, 35 years ago.
Do you want to read that from Nick there? What do you mean?
On confirmation of 60 FIA revoked Heidi's. Cool, I'll trust you. It was Super Aguri though. Fair enough.
So it probably means a lot more to you than it does me, because in 2006, I don't know what I was doing at 5 years old. Probably won't remember about a super license being revoked.
Well, in 2006, I would have been 20 years old.
Yeah,
I remember it fondly. Hey, Nick, you're like 1 year behind me.
I was 5.
Sod off.
I said when I was in work, like I know they were joking, but they said like, "Oh, I thought you were like 40 years old." I was like, what?
To you?
Like, yeah, I was like, to me, and I was like, what? He went, no, I'm joking. I was like, you better be. Bloody hell.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh. Oof.
But it was a joke. He was like, yeah, no, I was just joking. I knew you were like 20-something. He went, how old are you? I went, 22. He went, oh, you're a baby. And I was like, oh, I'm not 22. I'm not a baby.
Ooh, okay. We have a lockup from. So that's a McLaren. Is this another McLaren chasing? It is.
Oh yeah, it's Lando and Piastri.
Yeah, I thought it was Hamilton for a minute.
Yeah, so did I. I was like, huh?
You couldn't see any of the orange, could you? It looked like a Mercedes. It was all black. Well, that's good. Piastri let him go. I mean, that's obvious. That is absolutely obvious. We're definitely have to see 15 laps ago. If anyone's going to pit, it's going to have to be now. Because we're going to have time to recover the pit stop loss.
Yeah. Ooh,
that was a big chunk taking out the floor from Norris there.
Yeah, that didn't look very healthy.
Yeah, as Prototype said, something flipped up that corner. Yeah, it's either a bit of curb or a bit of the under tray of the McLaren. So Piastri's fallen 2 seconds off Norris already. I wonder if he is suffering with heat in the car, or just protecting the tyres to the end.
Essentially,
you were doing half the race in a set of medium tyres. Looks like Lewis is trying it. He could now pit and come out somewhere around Piastri and Albon.
Yeah.
But the longer they leave it, the harder it gets to make up time. No.
No, neither do I. I don't see him, obviously, catching anywhere near.
There you go, Horner is advising Perez of him losing his seat.
Yeah, it'll be alright. Don't worry.
It'll be alright. We'll have you back in a couple of years when Danny leaves us again.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like, see, look, this is where an AlphaTauri could finish sometimes.
See, look, yeah, if you've got an AlphaTauri, you should be in the race.
Sargent and Stroll fighting. What could go wrong? Everything.
The two crash masters of the whole thing.
Yeah, basically, kaboom! Sargent saying, what is this guy doing?
Has Sargent done enough to retain his F1 drive?
I mean, he's another one. Because he is a rookie. He's young. He's had relatively little experience. You give him another year to kind of mature. And I guess by the end of next year, if he's still doing what he's doing, then that's when you say, unfortunately, you've had some time.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I see why he's annoyed now.
Yeah, I see why he's moaning. But yeah, like you give him like another year. See if he develops in some sort of way. And if not, basically say, I'm sorry. We've given you some time. Fortunately, no. No more for you. I mean,
it's kind of somewhat in.
I mean, James Vowles, isn't it? James Vowles or Voles?
Vowles in.
Yeah, Vowles.
Yeah, the ex-Mercedes guy who's now in.
He seems quite. I guess. What's the word? Quite fond of Sargent, keeping him on for next year, in order to kind of help him develop. And I suppose that's all they can do, really, is see if he kind of comes into it. Obviously, because for a lot of these tracks, it's his first time going there, then they can't really use that as an excuse because obviously Oscar's exactly the same, and yet they're so different.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar has clearly been the best rookie by a mile, hasn't he?
Yeah. And I agree, Pedro. It's almost like Williams has been like revitalized, and this obviously it's not always amazing, but it seems to be a bit more consistent this year as opposed to other years.
Do you remember when we first started doing the not pre-GP, the F1 watch along podcast and all that sort of thing? It was always a meme of how far back the Williams were.
Yeah.
Now Albon repeatedly is getting points.
Exactly. Like, it's good to see. Ooh. And it's almost like when Albon is far down, it's like, oh, where's the Williams? Like, why are they that far back?
Okay, Norris on his former teammate Ricciardo. Norris is doing wonders on these medium tyres, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh. Oh! Bit of tyre rubbing, I believe.
Got through. Prototype says put Max in the Williams if he kept going at the pace. He's there because he's 12 seconds ahead. Yeah.
Pedro was toying with that idea of like, because Max is so far, basically he's obviously sealed the championship. Imagine if he could go in the AlphaTauri for like a weekend, give like Yuki or Danny a chance in that Red Bull. Hopefully they don't crash it, and kind of like let them enjoy it and see where Max kind of finishes in that AlphaTauri. I believe like Pedro was like saying that idea of like, let's just see where Max would finish if he was in an AlphaTauri. And like,
it's an interesting concept, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously it's not allowed, and plus, you know.
Well, that team can do it.
I suppose
all we've got to do is transfer contracts. Driver swaps are completely normal in F1. So it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
But I don't imagine Max agreeing to it.
Yeah. I mean, unless he really wanted to, like, I guess, have some fun and try and be a bit more, I guess, like the olden days when he used to fight through the pack. We're not used to it anymore. Although Oscar is one of the best rookies in a long time, a generational talent in my opinion. He's in a better car compared to Sargent, and he had a lot more experience in the junior series. Even people at Williams said he should have stayed in F2 for another year. I believe it's that thing with F2. When you see like a kind of a standout person, you're like, oh, got to get into F1 like as soon as we can. Sometimes it does take him a few years to really, I guess, soak it all up and be fully ready.
Particularly where there's no testing these days for F1 teams. I'll say no, it's like 3 days, which is not enough.
Yeah. Well, like, what was it the other day with the free practice? One of them didn't get any running at all because every time they kept going out of the pits, there was the same problem. They have to come back in. Pedro sent it to me the other day. I can't remember his name. What car it was in.
Yeah, I did. I know the one you're on about.
Yeah. One of the rookies did have no runnings because 4 times he came out in the pits and 4 times there was a problem and he had to come back in. Like, imagine that luck.
Porsche.
Yeah, it would be a good way to assess their performance. Yeah, put Max in a slower car, see where he finishes. And yeah, then it would be good to see kind of who would or could eventually replace Checo. Welcome to another episode of Wild Ideas of Hawkeye. You know it, Nick.
Hawkeye hooliganism.
Although that wasn't my idea, I believe it was Pedro's idea. I just projected it. So, I do have some weird and strange ideas, you know. I'm hoping one makes me a billionaire.
Breaking into corners isn't one of your ideas, is it? No. Yeah, you should have seen it, Nick. Our warm-up lap to our first part of the Grand Prix. Exactly, yeah, somebody forgot to brake into the left-hander, didn't they?
It was raining. I didn't have the grip. And
I managed to stop for the corner.
I think I was slightly distracted. And
piled into the back of me.
There may have been a couple of cars on the corner that I wasn't expecting.
Weren't looking for. It was quite funny though.
And by the time I already started braking, whoosh.
Yeah. It's just as well it was the formation light and it only disqualifies you.
Yeah. To be fair though, that first half of the race in the rain was terrible.
Yeah.
Especially driving again by Miss Hockey, always. Always.
Just here at work.
To be fair, I nearly...
In the van.
In the van.
Yeah.
To be fair, in the Audi, we had one moment yesterday. And, did I tell you about the Lambo?
Hit me.
Well, I don't know how much I can say, but...
Tell me afterwards.
Yeah, I'll tell you after. Oh no,
we both can't say everything about it.
It was fine with me. It was, Audi being four-wheel drive, the Quattro. It hit like a tiny bit of a puddle. And like the back end started to wiggle and I caught the steering wheel with this kid. I was like, "You're not spinning today, Audi." But it kind of just it sent the traction a little bit low. Whoa. I caught the steering wheel and I was like, "Yep, take your foot off the accelerator. Let the car straighten up, like fully get traction again, and then I'll tell you when to get back on the accelerator." Right. That was my little moment, but like. My friend in the GTR saw it in the rearview mirrors and they were like, "You're wiggling a little bit." And I was like, "Yep." Yes, I was. You want to see like mine in the kid's face, so we were like, "Yeah, let's not do that again."
I came up behind I was coming back from the other track and I had a 135 power slide past me.
Yeah, they were doing that a lot yesterday. I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah. They were having fun, weren't they? So, alright, back to the F1 race in question. Looks like Hamilton is going to do half the race, the set of medium tyres. Leclerc's not going to catch him. Max has disappeared off out the front. Norris has been the highlight. Anything else? Tsunoda's yeeted himself into 16th.
Danny just, I guess, staying roughly where he was in the top 10. A good result.
For Danny, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, considering he's in an AlphaTauri, I think that's exceptional.
Yeah. But always questionable driving from Nick,
Do you know
whenever I'm around.
There's one thing I think we can take from this race is that McLaren is still very strong, despite Norris starting at the back. He's chasing down Russell.
And so despite
he's gone up,
where he started, car seems to be an all-round good car now.
Yeah, and he's still got those medium tyres working after over 30 laps now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that's exceptional from Norris.
To be fair, my own driving has been questionable as lately.
Oh dear. You should come work with us.
Yeah, come work with us, Nick. To be fair, it's not always, like, because we're not in the driver's seat, it's not... It's like... If the person puts the accelerator down too quickly, before you even have the chance to say something, it's like, "Well, there, I haven't even said anything yet." But that's occasionally when I get catched out at work, because I'm like, "I didn't even say anything yet. Your feet shouldn't be moving before I've said anything." But apart from that, I think I'd go to say that my personal driving is good.
I would agree.
Because I don't really actually.
It's not on the formation lap.
No. Although my splitter on my car does take the occasional bump, the occasional like hanging off. That's because of how low the car is, alright? That's not necessarily my driving.
And roadkill.
And potentially sometimes roadkill, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fixed now until whatever happens next.
Oh. Okay, so we have Hulkenberg being passed by one of the Alpines. Around the outside, now you see here is the Alpine getting around the Haas without clattering into the car in front of it.
That's how it's done.
Yuki.
TT2 will be interesting again next week, yeah. Formula 1 related, I think. I'm gonna have to do some. I'm gonna have to grind out some like circuit experience to get the money for some of those cars. I don't think I even have them. Ooh.
Okay, I think we're going to see Norris have a lunge. Ooh, yeah, I think the Alpha's just had a lunge. Yellow flag, sector 3.
What happened there?
I think Stroll's off somewhere. Stroll's off.
Yeah, is that Stroll and Sargent moment or?
Oh, comes Norris. Okay, green flag.
Ooh.
That's a good overtake from Norris.
Yeah.
So Sargent's gone up another place. He's got Bottas. So that's probably Stroll, Sargent, and Bottas all having a fight.
Yeah.
I think Bottas has gone off, maybe. I don't know.
Stroll's into the pits. Is that a potential retirement?
I know we're about to find out, I think. So, okay, who have we got here? We've got Bottas. There's an Alpine. Oh, he got yeeted into this. Yeah, okay, that's Stroll. Him and Stroll got together in the stadium section.
Yeah.
So, whose fault is this, do you think, Sarah?
Stroll's. Bottas wouldn't have even seen him at that point, I don't think.
Oh, he's also cut across the corner, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'd say Bottas wouldn't be able to see him until then. Because of how late he came into the corner.
Even then, he's not left any room for Bottas.
No. Especially that stadium section is so tight.
You have to leave room for your opponent. So, okay, Norris is cut back on Russell.
Lando went
by the second point,
and Lance went for a Stroll. Yes.
I did see that. I was leaving you to see that one. I'm hyper impressed with Norris's racecraft today. Oh, yeah. Stroll has retired.
Yeah, so one crash. Yeah, no, I'm done.
I do want to see that collision from Bottas's point of view, if possible.
I think it did show it, but obviously we were not a good
True.
weekend for the old Aston Martin.
I meant Stroll's point of view.
Double DNF.
Yeah, both off the pace too.
Oh, thank you very much for the bits there, Mad Hero. Really do appreciate you. Thank you very much for the love. We are watching the F1, analysing performance, reacting to what's happened, and it's been a weird but alright race, in a way.
You're not wrong.
Not much for the win of the race, but a lot of challenges further down the field.
A lot of people bumping into each other.
I reckon if obviously Lando didn't start that far back and didn't have the problems with, say, the restart and
podium for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say potential podium maybe. If he started, podium. If he at least got into maybe Q2, I reckon a podium would have been on the cards.
I'd say so. Unfortunately, that's the risk you run. He tried to qualify in medium tyres to begin with. Didn't hook up a lap, then got caught out with Alonso's spin. That's qualifying.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of times that has happened to a Red Bull, to a Ferrari, to a Mercedes in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It was going to happen to Norris eventually.
Yeah. I think it was probably down to the lack of performance. There's no point of wearing out car components if they're not going to fight for anything. True, I guess.
Retiring 3 laps at the end?
Yeah.
I would have retired earlier.
True.
Ooh, Ricciardo's coming back at Russell in the last 2 laps. This could be spicy.
I believe Russell is on the medium. Maybe he has overcooked them.
It could well be at this point with Ricciardo on the hard, so yeah, he's probably got a bit of tyre life left. Now it's at the point where he just, be damned the temperatures of the engine and all that, just push.
Yeah. I'm not watching the race, so I didn't know we were already at the end. Go on, Danny. We are 71 out of 71 now. So we're on the...
Max, yeah.
Well, Max is on the final lap. Everyone else,
no one else is yet.
On the 70th lap.
Hamilton probably is about now.
Yeah. Obviously, Perez, Magnussen, Alonso, and Stroll all DNFs.
Do you know what's impressive from Hamilton, though? Going that amount of distance on the mediums and keeping the Ferraris behind him.
Maybe, potentially, clean air is key.
I'd agree with that.
Like, he's had clean air relatively...
Most of the stint.
Yeah, I would say probably better than sitting behind a car. Obviously, you don't get the slipstream, but then you also don't get the hot air.
Okay, here's the battle on track. Russell went defensive into turn 1. Ricciardo's going to have both position and DRS into turn 4.
Come on, Danny.
Oh, stop looking at Max.
We don't care. We know he's finished. Like, come on.
Come on, producers.
Come on, it's 0.05.
Dumb.
Come on. Give us it. Come on, go back.
We're not going to see it.
We don't care where Max is finished.
1/10 of a second between the two. We're not looking at it. Max has won like 13 the races this year.
Yeah, go back.
Go back to the battle.
Go back. Go back.
And now they're showing Hamilton.
Yeah, they're not going to show it. Hamilton getting the
fastest lap. Don't care. Show us Ricciardo and Russell.
Come on, go back. Go back.
Now we're seeing Leclerc. Now we're going to see Sainz. Oh, now we're seeing them, as there's no chance of Ricciardo getting past.
Yep.
That was dumb. From the FIA. Turn to incident involving Tsunoda and Piastri, no further action.
I mean, what action were they going to say? Like, Tsunoda turned into him.
Yeah.
That was close, yeah. It's good to see Danny Rick being racy.
Yeah, it's nice to see him attacking again.
I didn't really care to watch Verstappen right at the end. I wanted to see that battle. Yeah, even if there was no chance of him passing. Still.
Yeah, right there with you on that. I wanted to see the action, not what
Sergeant
was
in the
happening
pits on the last lap.
Yeah.
Huh? What happened there? Sergeant in the pit on the last lap.
No.
What happened there?
Williams gave up. Don't really know.
I was looking at the onboard, which saved me. Oh yeah, forget that the that's where they have to pull up the cars here.
Yeah, it's all completely different for here, isn't it?
Mid corner. I gotta say, I do like the Mexican theme tune, like the F1. Do 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 do.
It's the only place to get away with it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to give you a little Lando Norris updates. Started P17. The most positions he's ever gained in a race.
I think that was the best old Hamilton could do there. Seems quite happy with his P2.
Yeah, I do feel like the Merc wasn't on par with the Red Bull today, mind you, but no, that was good from Hamilton. So, shall we do our usual? Watch the celebrations and then move on.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Oh dear. Prototype said, just wait till FIA having a plank floorboard disqualification party. Yeah. So, hopefully not, but that's 2 race weekends in a row where we've seen Hamilton finish second, so that's positive from the Mercedes, at least.
Yeah. They were just saying that most of the time when Leclerc gets pole, Max wins, and then yet again it happened.
Yeah, Leclerc's got the most poles with no resulting wins, hasn't he?
Thank you, Pedro. Shane that.
Thank you, Ombre. Yes, I know Prototype. That Hamilton got disqualified in USA. I said that he's finished on track second. Now listen for any potential booing. Is it me, or does Jensen Button sound like he's a bit croaky?
Maybe he's been shouting.
Maybe.
They sound very echoey, though.
Oh, that's probably because they're in the stadium section with speakers.
Yeah. No. New record.
Nobody cares. I will say it's absolutely super impressive from Max. I mean, he's been so consistent.
Yeah.
It's absolutely unbelievable. But as racing fans, it is not fun to watch dominance.
Yeah.
Enjoying the atmosphere for the crowd here in the stadium. Great to see, and you seem so happy when you get out of the car. Nice finally, mechanic. Yeah, I gotta say a big thank you to this incredible crowd.
This incredible crowd. They're the best crowd in the world.
So Hamilton's go-to line.
Says everywhere.
Although, this year, they seem a little bit more warmer to Lewis Hamilton than they did in, a couple of years ago.
Well, he hasn't won since 2021.
No, but when they were like booing so heavily. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I want to see how Hamilton does in Brazil, I want them to have a good car.
Yeah, I'd like to see both of the Mercedes drivers on par with Max to see what would happen.
Yeah. No, we do know Lewis likes Brazil.
We do. Obviously, it was the site of that 2021 fantastic weekend when Lewis went from the back
race.
Yeah, up to 5th, and then down to 10th for the Grand Prix because of a penalty, and then to the win. Awesome race. Oh, the booing Leclerc.
Ooh.
Oh, I mean, that's not fair on him. He was sandwiched in between 2 Red Bulls. Where was he going to go?
It's that, again, that Simpson meme keeps popping in my head. Stop! It's already dead.
There's going to be Day of the Dead in Mexico soon, which is like their version of Fun Halloween. And I'm betting there's going to be effigies of Leclerc, like Wicker Man being burned everywhere. Ouch.
Yeah, it's really harsh. It wasn't his fault, and I feel like Leclerc is just this year, like. Oh, yeah, because they're booing because it was him and Checo.
Yeah, that's why they're booing him.
Yeah.
That's not fair, is it?
Yeah, that's harsh. Wasn't really his fault.
Oh, I fully agree.
Oh, I feel bad for Leclerc. It looks like he needs a hug.
Oh, he needs a hug. I agree.
Why'd they replay Max winning? Don't need to see that. We know that.
But honestly, yeah, Max's dominance is absolutely unreal performance. I'm gonna repeat what I said earlier. It's Max and the team working as one. It's not necessarily a dominant car. It is just sheer.
What points is Perez on? 240.
20 ahead of Hamilton. 240.
Ooh, that's getting closer. I reckon Hamilton's going to overtake him, you know.
So do I. Considering he lost 18 points from last weekend as well. He should only be about 2 or 3 points behind. I'm just listening to them talking in the cool-down room.
AlphaTauri above Alpha and Haas.
I like how Leclerc and Hamilton aren't throwing knives at each other, they're smiling at each other.
Oh, they're watching Kevin's.
Yeah. Imagine if Yuki hadn't crashed with Piastri. Yeah, Yuki would have a lot more points, but he's got his drive score for next year anyway, so it doesn't matter in terms of like the grand picture.
I don't know if you heard that last comment from Hamilton. He's like, I'm really surprised that medium tyre lost.
Really surprised what?
The medium tyre lasted.
Oh, right.
That's like we were all questioning that towards the end. We were like, oh, please don't boo him again. Oh, someone knocked the camera there. AlphaTauri would have been so comfortable and could have possibly have a late charge at Williams. Yeah. What is Max wearing?
I was ignoring that one.
That, like, what's it called? It's a sombrero, isn't it? He kind of looks like Toad.
Oh, God.
Why is he wearing that?
It's the national hat.
I know, but like a slightly smaller one would have been fine.
That's just funny being raised through. Do you know it's very good how they've done that? Brought the car right up to the top there. That's brilliant.
Yeah, Lewis and like Charles are probably like eyeing it up, like,
See what we can learn from the car.
Yeah, this is as close as we can get. Like, spray some champagne in it, make it like smelly.
In all seriousness, that car, they're not allowed to go anywhere near it or touch it because you remember a couple of years ago, Max touched
50
Lewis's
grand
rear wing, 50 grand. Yeah, they can't get anywhere near it, so you shouldn't be able to spray champagne on it. And that's the the inner me going, oh god, this is a nightmare to you. But honestly, it looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Positivity for a change from us.
And the Dutch anthem again.
Yep.
Right. Let's see what they do with the champagne.
Yeah. It's good to see the Ferrari that is on the podium, all of the podiums.
Yeah. Even when the driver doesn't finish, a Ferrari driver doesn't finish on the podium, Ferrari will always finish on the podium.
Exactly. Apparently, it's completely non-related to Motorsport Ferrari, as in it's not even a branch of the company. It's just a completely different company.
Got the same name, yeah.
Called Ferrari. Actually, goes back. It's older than Ferrari Racing Team because it's from 1902, apparently.
Hmm.
Who knew?
Oh, apparently, when you say the translation of Ferrari in English means blacksmith, according to Google. It says Ferrari comes from Ferraro, meaning blacksmith, putting it on par with the English and American surname Smith. And much like Smith, the Ferrari name is quite common. It's the third most common surname in Italy.
I've never seen anyone else called Ferrari, though.
I don't know. Google may be telling me lies. Not the first time.
Although you do see Gonzalez and Rodriguez everywhere in Mexico.
True. A little bit of Ferrari knowledge there for you. I'm available all night. Enzo Smith.
But available all night to Google.
To Google. Taking requests.
So the
like, surely some of that is going in the car.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
if you see Max just pouring it in the car, I'm going to call that tampering with the weight.
Yeah.
I'm glad a lot of the crowd didn't leave.
One of my family names might actually derive from Ferrari or one of its variants, no joke. Interesting, Pedro.
Good to know. Do you know what, I think the most a couple of things I've been impressed about this Grand Prix is Norris driving, Hamilton and Verstappen doing their thing as always, and that Red Bull coming up through to the podium.
Yeah.
Right, shall we crack on and do this breakdown? Get it out of the way and done. Let's do it. Give me 10 seconds and I'm there. Might be slightly more than 10 seconds.
And thank you for reading my random and irrelevant comment of the day. It wasn't Pedro.
No worries. No worries, Kulios.
To be fair, I'm the one that searched it up, so mine was the random, like, comment of the day. Well, now, all thanks to me, we all know the translation of Ferrari. Thank you, you're welcome. Good night.
Thank you, good night, and God bless.
Yeah. That signing out. Not yet, though. So don't go anywhere.
Okay, give me a momentino. Would you like this feed to this one, Sarah?
If you would be so kind, I would take it.
I think we can manage that.
Yeah, GP wise, we've got not long to wait.
But Interlagos.
Sunday. Yeah, Interlagos. Would you say one of your... Well, I know it's Pedro's... Not... I don't know if it's your favourite Pedro. I don't want to say it's your favourite, but I believe you said it's one of your preferred tracks. Or was that you, Midnight?
I think it's a pair of us, to be fair.
Yeah. I think like I was going to say before I made that comment was that I think for all three of us it's a track that we all like and we all kind of like in a way looking forward to, both race and pre-GP wise, because we drive it on both F1 and like GT7.
Yeah, exactly that.
We kind of know it. And that's what I like about some of the F1 races. Obviously not a lot of them, but like Brazil, where it's the same sort of track. We've driven it like loads of times. We kind of know it. Like it makes it a little bit easier when you watch Nick. You're like, oh, they're going through that section, like, and we know like the racing lines, so it does make it a little bit more like fun in a way, and more kind of we know what we're talking about.
Exactly that. Sorry, Sarah, I just unshared the thing I was sharing to you.
Alright. No, yours is actually quite a good fact that I've heard before, but that is quite obscure. Thank you.
We like obscure facts here.
I do like Interlagos. Okay. It doesn't mean I'm good at it. Pedro, politely.
Stop it.
Shut the beep up. Because you're good at every track.
Do you care to clarify what the beep was?
No. You can make your mind up.
Cool. Right, let's move on. Should we do the breakdown nice and quickly?
Yeah. Let me just... I'm just trying to get it up. Just trying to get it up for the peoples. By the way, have you liked the little... But obviously you can't see it on Midnight's feed. But do you like to... Well, I meant Midnight can't see it on my feed. But do you like the little graphics I've added today? Why is the screen grab that big?
Yeah, mine just did that as well, and I've no idea why. Yeah, I had to refresh mine as well. So, sorry about that. No idea why.
Same. I love the new overlay. Oh, thank you, Pedro. Obviously,
really good. I like you got the crap there.
Thank you.
That's good.
Obviously, I've got to try and get my webcam working, or try and find a way to get another camera.
We'll get it working. Don't worry, we've got...
So that we can go back to both, like, having each other's faces on our screens. Because it, like, so nice, you got to have us twice.
Precisely. I've got to reposition my camera after it fell off and nearly yeeted me in the face the other day.
You haven't seen that clip, you need to go and watch it.
On that note, are we ready?
You know what, I've forgotten that I'm watching obviously Sky Sports, but I must have accidentally on my phone like gone straight to the main event one because it's just changed onto American football and I have no idea what they're going on about.
Yeah, I've had that before.
Bye, Sky Sports. See you next week. I was like, where did this come from? Alright, I'm ready when you are.
Oh, I wasn't born ready. Sure, I wasn't. Should we start with who started at the back and work up? So that way we get at least to probably move up the rankings a little bit.
Can do.
Cool. Right, Stroll started last.
Yeah.
D. Died at the end, didn't he?
Yeah, probably. Or what was I gonna say? Could we pass him lower because of their move on Sargent and Bottas?
What did he do to Sargent? I can't remember. He was weaving.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad enough to give him an E, although it's not a good. It's a low ND. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what about the Bottas situation?
I'd like to see that from Bottas's point of view. I do have a feeling he squeezed Bottas, resulting in his own... I'm not going to fight it. E.
Ooh.
No, at the
Things
end
you
of the
don't
day...
want stuck in an F1 car before a race, a piece of paper.
Hmm?
I just saw... This is 3 hours ago, and it looks like it was a McLaren. Yeah. I show it on stream. A little bit of paper under the McLaren before the race. They must have got that, otherwise... No.
I imagine that was when they were going around the track, either from the formation or from end of qualifying, so they've sucked up something and it's got stuck to the bottom of the car or something.
Yeah, apart from that, I've got the race results. Right, I was on my way to go get the results from Pedro. I saw that and I thought, oh, it's paper.
So, anywho, yes, I'm not going to fight you on Stroll. I'm going to call it an E.
Okay.
Just a sheer fact, we know he's had a few incidents, and he was running around at the back in a car which we know was getting podiums earlier in the year. Cool?
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on. Next one, who started, was 19th. That was Sargent, who ended up where, sir?
P16. Technically finishing in the pits. P16, yeah. In the pits.
I'd like to give him just a straight grade on this one, C minus.
Yeah.
Nothing really wrong. He was doing all right.
Was doing all right until, like, I guess in a way, Stroll might have held him up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, he's dicing with cars which were podium winners earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, reasonably strong. Not
amazing,
terrible.
But not terrible.
Yeah. I mean, as far as we've given him a bashing throughout the year, that's an improvement. It's still not great, but it's an improvement. Yeah. Cool. Next one, Yuki. Started 18th.
Finished 12th. Was good at some point. Then made that not rookie error, but like silly mistake of turning in where there was a car that couldn't just evaporate. And technically, he kind of took himself out.
Yeah. And then he disappeared. He just stayed exactly where he was.
Yeah.
Could have finished alongside or ahead of Danny, because it looked like he was sort of homing in on him.
Yeah.
But he ruined his own race.
Exactly.
I'm kind of willing to give that a D, because I don't think that's as good as Sargent. He finished behind him, and it's no good being impressive halfway in through the race, so then yeet yourself off.
Exactly, yeah. Like almost if he could have kept that position, even if you could have kept behind Oscar, I think that would have still been a really good result, because...
That would have been a B,
yeah,
probably. I mean, yeah, he was looking very impressive, but he made a mistake, and it's gone from the top 6 to the bottom 17 or something. Yeah,
because as we were saying, the AlphaTauri actually looked somewhat like a good car this weekend.
Yeah.
And it's not every race weekend that we say that for the AlphaTauri.
Yeah. Yeah. The one moment he's looking strong, he yeets himself off. So, yeah.
Nice to meet you back. I'm front. Nick and Midnight joke there. Who's next on your list?
We have Norris, who started P17.
Finished P5, going up 12 places.
I genuinely think it's an A or a B, straight off the bat.
Yeah. I'd go with either of them.
What would you make an argument?
He was quite mature in the fact that on that restart, he backed out of what could have been a multi-car pile-up if he didn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's definitely
shows his racecraft.
Lots of good judgment there.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
So, is that I don't know if that's an A standard, or if that's just a good showing of his racecraft.
But given we're rating on what he's done, racecraft I think is 90% of the battle.
Yeah.
He's avoided a big accident and come from like 18th
either
on the
say
grid.
like a low A or a really high B. I reckon if he wasn't that far back on the restart, potentially could have been behind Leclerc, if not P3.
Yeah, I agree with that. Should we put him in a high B for now? Because
all in all, considering where he started, pretty good result.
Yeah, and that car is strong at the moment, so he had the pace to do it. So we'll say high B, like ultra high B for now.
Yeah, and we'll move him, obviously, if you'll like it.
That sounds fair to me. Next one, K-Mag.
I'm trying to find him. There he is. Obviously retired due to the crash, which looked like something broke on the rear left tyre. It was facing slightly the wrong way. He was going around that section. Kind of spat him out straight into the wall. And at that point, like Midnight alluded to earlier, he was just a passenger. Unfortunately, he couldn't have done much. It wasn't really his fault because of the part breaking. But obviously, of course, a red flag. I went on a little bit of a fire.
I would like to give him a grade. He completed He completed half the race, give or take. I would put him in the same sort of place as Sargent. He had done nothing wrong all day. He was circulating. Not impressive, but he hadn't done anything wrong, and his car gave up on him.
Yeah. Yeah, if
you happy with that?
Yep.
Fantastic. I'm just going to put him there, and the crash wasn't his fault. Cool. So, all right, we're going to move straight on to Esteban Ocon, who started in 15th. Finished
P10 with the last point scorer.
I will warn you, I'm disappearing in a second because I ordered the pizza and it's coming early. So I'm going to have to go and grab it in a minute, okay?
Okay.
But you can fill for 2 minutes. So, yes. Ocon, where did he finish?
P10. Last of the point finishers.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, 1 up 5 places.
It's not bad.
Was in front of his teammate Gasly.
And where did he start? 11th. Yeah, Gasly started 11th. C+. How about that?
Yeah. Above average, but still kind of average for him.
Yeah, about 5 places into a point. Yeah, okay. And we know that Alpine isn't a fantastic car.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's good. And I think we saw some good on-track action from him. If some of them was him getting past, but nice clean racing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Norris yeeted down the inside and Ocon went, I got out of the way, didn't he?
Yeah, basically he's like, whoa, I want to finish this race today.
Exactly, right. So yeah, that was pretty good. So next one we have Albon, who started P14 and ended up
P9.
B.
Yeah, didn't really do anything wrong. Didn't really see much of anything, which must have meant he was either doing something well or something wrong. In this case, I think just chilling, really.
We're going to have to stop saying it's Albon and he's in a Williams. It's great for him to get points.
Yeah.
Because he does it all the time now. So, but
yeah, we're
he's still in a Williams.
What's that thing, like, when you start... When they've got low expectations and they
it's easy to get a good result. Yeah.
Well, now that we've got the expectation that he's going to be around the points finishes, we're just always going to expect it now.
Exactly that. But it's still a Williams. He still outdone his teammate, and he's still in the points ahead of some very experienced and higher grade teams. So B.
Yeah.
Behind Norris. Norris was more impressive. Cool. I am going to disappear for 1 minute, so I will be back, okay? And the next one up, you can have a little think. It is Alonso, started P13.
Oh, okay.
I will be back in a moment.
Okie dokie, see you in a moment. Right, so Alonso. Can we rate him? Maybe just about. He's done over half the race. He's not really been on it this weekend, has he? Fortunately, in that Aston. Maybe due to obviously Pedro saying that they're starting to develop the car more into Stroll's favour, which again, I can't really see why. But Checo should be in F. I mean, if you tell him midnight, it probably will. Yeah, it wasn't great from Checo, was it? It wasn't particularly a good race for him, even though the car was bad. Yeah. If there was a fault with the car, if obviously it wasn't really fighting for anything, so he thought, yeah, I'll retire. But Aston hasn't really looked great all weekend. Maybe that's because of the high altitude. Maybe not. But yeah, team radio, the F1. Mexico race results. A hard-fought race with a deserved winner. Report and results. I need to put that as like my phone notification. You know, if like when I'm out and someone just gives me a text and it goes that'd be fun. I'd be like, box. But any standout people for you guys this race? Apart from the obvious ones. I mean, I'm just happy Danny Rick finishing the points, you know? And yeah, not a great showing from the Astons. But, you know, Aston Martin doing Aston Martin things as usual. I'm just trying to see where everyone. You know, the one thing that confuses me, you know the results, like the official results where it says gap and then interval. My brain trying to read those numbers, it's like it takes me a few seconds to like register information in my brain and be like, Danny drove really well and Lando did a great recovery, though the red flag helped a bit. Yeah. Although, do you reckon maybe the red flag affected Danny's race, maybe? Because he did seem quite fast, and towards the end, obviously, he was catching George. Maybe if it was like a lap longer, potentially could have overtook George. Other than that, Piastri, I felt like he did alright. Caught up in obviously the Yuki situation. Could he have done any better? Maybe a few places, but I suppose it's hard when again it's like his first time. I'd say it did. Yeah. Also, it might have saved him a little bit, the red flag for Danny. Guys. Wait, let me have a check actually. Danny Rick. Yeah. Danny was one of the first to go onto hards, so he didn't change his tyres. Actually, he wasn't one of the first to go on the hards, but it made a one-stop work. Potentially the flag might have saved him.
Sorry, I have returned.
Hello.
Right, that was the Domino's tracker service is a little bit out. 1 minute away.
I'm here. Where are you?
We're here. Right. What did I miss? Highlights?
Just talking about performances. Saying that Nick said Checo should be in an F.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
F4.
I suppose we actually haven't done Checo yet, have we? We probably should. No, we're going by starting positions. So, Alonso.
We were saying that Danny drove a really good race and Lando did a great recovery.
Agreed.
Although the red flag helped a bit.
Agreed.
My team radio, because my phone, I've got the F1 app on my phone, it sends me notifications. Yeah, like when it goes the pit radio.
At you.
Yeah. Like imagine if I could set that as to my text message when everyone's sending me a text message.
Oh, you can do. Oh, you can do that. I'll what you on, Android or iPhone? Okay, maybe you can't. Yeah. I don't really know is my honest answer.
I don't really know, to be fair, either.
Right. I know you can on an Android. Anyhow, Alonso started P13, retired.
P18.
Yeah, and he retired.
Well, didn't finish, but in 18th.
Yeah. Honestly, did you come up with a rank or anything like that for him?
No, not really. We were kind of just talking in general. Okay. I mean, personally,
hit me.
He's not really been on it all weekend, so I don't know if I can rate him. I don't know. Maybe I'd have to rate him with Yuki. I
would say exactly the same. Literally exactly what I was thinking.
It's like what we were just saying a minute ago with the expectations thing. We've got high expectations for him. So whenever he kind of doesn't deliver, we're just like, oh.
Well, compared to some of the stuff he does, I mean, today was lackluster. He got overtaken by Stroll. Unless he was carrying an illness or a mechanical issue, it just wasn't impressive. It's not what you'd expect from a two-time world champion.
Was I the only one who missed Leclerc being under investigation?
What for? Oh, no, it was investigated after the race for the incident at turn 1. Oh, no. For the front wing damage they were carrying.
Yeah.
And I remember what I said now. It's like, what, are they busy? So it's like, yeah. I suspect that'll be more to do FIA protocol because they left the car out there without giving it a meatball flag, which is you must come in and repair or whatever your damage to your car, which they didn't put the flag out.
Yeah.
So, but then again, is the onus on the teams to do that, or is it to the FIA to decide?
FIA to decide. I think it's under a safety thing. If they feel like that's about to fall off, or it's going to cause some sort of dangerous situations, they throw that flag out. And I believe they don't. They give it. I think they give you a couple of laps to come in.
Here's my argument. If you have a car and something's wrong with it, is it your duty to make sure it's MOT legal, or is it the government's duty? FIA in place of the government. It's your duty, isn't it?
Yeah, but obviously, with those sort of cars, with the front wing, we've seen that with the end plate missing, it doesn't necessarily mean that they lose performance. Some tracks.
Agreed.
And obviously, it didn't lose Leclerc too much.
Yeah.
But it just kind of just sat there in the middle of the track after it fell off.
The problem wasn't so much it fell off in the track, as the fact it was attached to his car and was flapping around and could have flown off. They are hyper paranoid about Massa, the 2009 incident they had at the Hungaroring, where the spring hit him in the head. I know they have the halo now, but they are paranoid about that sort of thing.
Yeah, and also I'm assuming because obviously the heat as well. Didn't want to create any sort of unnecessary sparks.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, that comes under safety again. So I think it's going to be an interesting conversation whether the FIA they knock themselves on the wrist, tell off the stewards for not.
I should have done that.
Or they tell off Ferrari for going, you knew your car was unsafe because of that bit flapping around on it. You should have brought them in.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both, isn't it?
A bit both, yeah.
So we will see what the decision is on that. Anywho, we said Alonso. I'm going to agree with you. D.
Okay.
Back to the conversation. Back to the point at hand. We'll circle around about that. So next one started 12th, up 4 places on lap 1. Nico Hulkenberg. Where did he finish?
P13.
Oh, that's a little bit underwhelming, isn't it?
It is a Haas though.
He was running P8 for a long time.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just that pass in the race.
Quali,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Race,
No.
Seems that over a certain race distance, it just falls off a cliff.
It does. It's a shame because he was running well until his tyres fell off a cliff.
Yep.
That's a shame. I think he was having a good solid race until his tyres died.
Should we put him in C?
I would be very happy to do so.
Yeah.
I think he was performing well until his car went, that's about enough.
Yeah, I've had enough now.
Yeah. That's a shame. That's a shame from Hulk because that was strong until it went wrong.
Oh, you're right there.
Pierre Gasly, start P11. Finished?
P11.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Had a couple of dicey moves.
Yeah. Nothing abnormal though for Gasly. He seems to be alright with those moves.
I kind of want him to rank him in the same as Ocon, but lower of the two.
Yeah.
Because he's done a solid race.
Fair, for the Alpine to survive around these sort of conditions, should get a thumbs up.
Who finished 10th in the end?
Ocon. Potentially, maybe.
No, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to put him down to a C.
Okay.
Ocon's gone up 5 places and got 10th. Gasly stayed where he was.
Maybe potentially though team orders, because Alpine like to switch those two for some reason or another. Maybe.
I do think Ocon had more pace than Gasly this weekend.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you.
At least in the race.
Average race for him.
Shame for him because that could have been points on offer with who dropped out? Perez dropping out. Never mind. Next one. Zhou Guanyu. Guanyu Zhou, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, from P10.
Again,
for the pre-GP, he's getting an F.
Again, for the Alfa Romeo, quali, not bad. Race pace, not great.
Yeah, it's the worst one out there at the moment, isn't it? Where did he finish?
P15.
Down 5 places. Ocon went up 5 places on the C+. I think we have to give him a D, or at least a C-. Oh, Christ. Where did Bottas finish?
P14.
Which is 1 ahead, isn't it?
Yep.
We'll have to rank them both together because they both started.
Well, they're only a second apart,
and 1 place apart at the start. We'll have to rank them both the same, aren't we?
Yeah. Come as a package deal.
And Bottas had a bit of a thingy with Stroll.
We still don't really know who's at fault, but I'm swaying more towards Stroll.
Yeah, same. Can we just go both of them in C-?
Yeah, I was going to think that.
Because it's better than Yuki, who collided with Piastri.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Cool. In no particular order, there they go. Because I think they're just about equal on that one.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's 2 out the way at once. That's good.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be saying, "Hey, he wants to just get to his pizza." You're right, I do. George Russell, start a date.
Finish P6.
C+? Bottom end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a Mercedes.
Yeah. Hamilton P2. And with fastest lap at the end, so Hamilton clearly did well.
Yeah.
Russell kind of existed today, didn't he? Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Next one. Oscar Piastri. Starting P7.
P8 finish.
A little bit underwhelming.
A little bit. But
compared to Norris. Anywho.
Did obviously collide with Yuki twice.
Yes, he did. He had a good. There's a lot of heart about him. A good fight.
Yeah, obviously not really his fault, but
I'm going to say something mildly controversial. I think if Yuki had a little bit more sensibility about him, Piastri would have been down another place quite easily.
Yeah.
with that in mind, Piastri should have been 2 places down. Probably 3 if you include if Perez had managed to get to the end.
What are you thinking?
See.
Yeah, average.
Yeah, I think ahead of Gasly, mind you. Because he was in there, he was fighting, he was having a good old battle. At the end of the day, it's good that wasn't an impressive performance, and that's kind of like the worst he's had all year. Yeah. And it's still points.
But we got to remember, he's still rookie.
Exactly. I suppose, yeah, factor in that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good, all things considered.
I guess, again, goes back to the expectation.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little deal.
A little bit. Next one. Lewis Hamilton started 6th.
Finished P2.
Past Sainz. Past...
There.
How else did he pass? Technically past Perez, Ricciardo, Sainz and Leclerc.
Yeah. Made
A or B?
Last for half a race.
Yeah, that was an epic thing. If it's an A, it's the same as Norris, really, isn't it? It's either a low grade A or a high grade B. What's your gut feeling on this? Is A too generous or is B too harsh? Or do we need a new category, B plus, A minus? No.
This is because we're indecisive. Well, I am.
Yes, it is.
I'll go with an A. I'm feeling a little bit generous because he made it work.
Stint.
Yeah.
That last stint was good.
Yeah, he made it work. Seems that he wasn't gonna get any more out of today, I think.
Agreed.
So who
and
are
Nick,
we
we're waiting for Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton.
We're debating, was his last stint, and the fact he went from P6 to P2, and the only one to, well, he got the fastest lap in the end. Was that good enough for an A? Even Nick says an A. You say an A. Even if okay, I'm going to say B, but I like the fact it's an A.
You're outruled here.
And do you know what? I'm happy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. High five, Nick.
Nah, so I can't even pretend it. It's got to be an A. It's got to be an A. So no, I can't even pretend to give him a bit of a B on that one. Okay, next one. Sergio Perez. Now, what's our rule, Sarah?
Can't rate someone if they haven't done at least a third of a race.
Problem is, what did we do on one of the last races when someone had a crash on the first lap, which they caused?
We rated them.
Yes, we have to. We have to rate him. Frankly, I think we do, because he helped cause it.
Yeah.
So, Leclerc in the middle of 2 Red Bulls. Max can't go anywhere, he's on the inside of the corner. Perez is Leclerc's next to him. Perez has the fastest speed, the overspeed from the slipstream in front. It's come from P5, the greatest slipstream of the lot, and has tried to cut in to take the corner.
F for Fudge.
F for fired.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think? Is he going to maintain P2 in the championship?
20 points? No. I don't think so. I think he might be on set to lose P2. With Hamilton's current trajectory of P2 finishes,
yeah,
I reckon he can overtake him.
This is kind of your area of expertise with your degree. Is he panicking in the car? Is his psychological state causing this problem?
It could be.
Or is it a genuine error this one time?
It could be a mixture of both, like you said or alluded to earlier. It could be that the tyre changes have, like, physical performance on the tyre changes has helped. But he might be using that as like a psychological excuse.
Correct.
As to being like, right, I can't gel with this car because of the said tyres. But it could also be because you got to remember the people at the end of the day. pressure might be getting to them, like workplace stress maybe. Obviously, like Hamilton has alluded to, it can't be nice hearing someone senior from your team talking basically shit behind your back.
Yeah. Because it's a Red Bull problem. He knew that going in.
Yeah. But when there's so many people fighting for one seat, you've got to be on it like all of the time. And I think
pressure's got to him.
I think, yeah, maybe the pressure's got to him. Or he's... I guess it's almost like that. Does he... with kind of like the personal life he has as well, he's got quite a young family. Does he kind of, I guess, a natural exit, if that makes sense? It's like, right, I've had a good stint. Let me just see this one out. And then he might just go on his own sort of thing.
Bit like what Vettel did.
Yeah. Then we might see him back in a couple of years when he's...
Problem is that 30... Yeah, 32 or something like that. I know he's 10 years younger than Alonso. Problem is, Perez is no double world champion. If he exits the sport and comes back, he won't be in a top team.
No. Then you might just want to come back to... I don't know, not necessarily to be there, really.
My genuine feeling on this is I think he'd be very good in IndyCar. A lot of the old F1 drivers go to IndyCar for the death of their career. It's like, but I genuinely think Perez could be good in it.
Yeah, you never know.
So maybe he just needs a different headspace, a different team. I think that'd be great. Yeah, some of his driving skills are outstanding.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously...
But he's not coping at the moment, is he?
Although he has won 2 races this season. It's not like he's not won races this season.
I will say a caveat to that. That's when Red Bull clearly had a performance advantage.
Yeah, but obviously, like, you haven't seen Lewis win a race this season.
True.
So, I don't know, maybe, like we said, maybe it's the whole pressure of the situation. There's been lots of rumours that he's going to retire, and lots of rumours floating around, like with, obviously, if he loses P2 in the championship, then that's him out. He probably hears these rumours some way or another through someone. And he's only human, so it might have got to him. Or
any social media, he'll hear it.
Yeah, or... yeah. Workplace stress from...
Play Helmut Marko's text again going, "You're next." That's probably bad because it's true. So, yeah, I'm with you. If he loses P2 in championship, we may very well not see him again.
Yeah, no, I think I'd agree with that.
We're going to move on because otherwise we're going to be talking hypotheticals about Perez for absolutely ever, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Okay, I've unfortunately lost the... Where is it? There it is. Okay. So we've rated Perez as an F because... yeah. There was a big F up in there. Anywho, positivity time, shall we? Big smile man himself, wannabe American Daniel Ricciardo. Who will be showing as De Vries in this one because he still hasn't updated it. I'm going to have to do my own. So, he started P4, ended up
7. Technically, the only people that overtook him were Sainz, Norris and Russell. Which...
Sainz?
Sainz, because he started behind him.
Sainz started P2. Hamilton, you meant. Hamilton.
No, because...
yeah, Hamilton started behind him.
Oh no, yeah, Sainz did get him. No, for some reason I thought Danny stayed in... like, went in front of Sainz for briefly. But I don't think... I think I'm thinking of the people behind him.
I think Sainz pitted or something to that effect.
Sorry, meant the ones you said.
Yeah.
In two cars, obviously the Mercedes and McLaren being much faster than the AlphaTauri. Not bad result, all in all.
I'm a little conflicted over the Ricciardo result because
I don't think it's anywhere like a A grade or
I completely agree.
Top tier.
I mean, his qualifying was an A grade if we did that.
100%.
But the reason why I'm conflicted is because he wasn't particularly. I mean, Sonoda at some point was almost outshining him. However, Danny had showed his racecraft. He's got to the end, and he's got a good result by having a good qualifying.
He was half a tenth away from Russell as well.
Yes. With that in mind, I don't think Russell had a good one. Yeah. Russell didn't have a good one.
No.
And although Danny's gone backwards, a lot of the cars that have come through from him is the McLaren, which we know is quick, Hamilton, and obviously Russell, who would have a better race car. So I'm willing, despite him finishing behind Russell,
Danny
to still give him a low B.
Quite a lot from Hamilton, even when DRS was activated.
Yeah. Overtaking today was weird, though.
Yeah, because not all of them were sitting in the DRS slipstream, so it was like, you were getting DRS, but you weren't really getting DRS.
Yeah, and they were lifting off just to sort of save them fuel and heat.
Yeah.
It was weird. I'm willing to give Danny a B, a bit like Albon and whatnot, despite going down places, because it was his second race back after breaking his hand, after being back one race.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of people probably questioned him last weekend when he's like, is he fit to race? Like, has he come back too soon?
I was questioning it.
Yeah, so basically this weekend he's been like, yeah, no, I'm ready.
So, sort of based on the qualifying and how well he's handled himself, I'm willing to say B.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because he's gone down places, but we're giving him more credit than Russell, who's gone up a place.
Remembering, obviously, he is in a pretty...
AlphaTauri.
Yeah, a pretty shit car.
I believe we gave Danny an A last year when he didn't do as well. An A?
For what?
What, in the McLaren last year? No, wait, was that last year? What's last year? I can't remember. I should have saved these ones. Yeah. We can use them as a reference. Anywho, we'll move on because the next one up was our winner, which is obvious, who started in P3, which was Max Verstappen. He is actually Thanos.
Collecting them
inevitable
trophies.
Oh god, he's got like 13 or 16 of them now. Emeralds. I'm going to Sonic. Infinity Stones.
Yeah. It's
an A grade.
He's got both infinity, like both hands. He could wear that glove thing. What's it called? Gauntlet. And he's got some spares and repairs just in case.
He's got two infinity gloves, an infinity necklace, and he's working on infinity shoes now.
Yeah.
A.
Yeah. I mean, start to finish, there was no mistakes really.
Yeah.
Didn't see much of him until right at the end when we didn't really want to see him because we knew he was like one anyway.
Let's not talk about that because I'm still annoyed. Let's move on. Honestly, great performance from Max. No more needs to be said. Great result from him. Not for F1, but great result for him. So sure. Sainz started P2.
Finished 4.
I'm actually very disappointed with Sainz today. How about you?
He was just there. That makes sense.
Hmm.
Wasn't doing much, but was just there.
Yeah, did not fight Sappin at all. Come on through. When it comes to passing earlier on, especially when we knew it was like just before the magazine crash, we were at that point where we knew it was Leclerc one stop to go, Max one stop to go, and it's kind of like, do you remember when Bottas was told to hold up Max when he was in Mercedes and he just let him straight through?
Yeah.
like that. It's like, okay, for Ferrari, we might be able to win this race if Carlos can hold up. Oh, Max has gone past.
Yeah, it's like, maybe not. Maybe not that idea.
Admittedly, older tyres and all that, but there was just no fight to it at all. Like, none. No covering the line, just poof, gone. Anyhow, how would you rank him?
Debating maybe just a C. Like a bang average.
Yeah, it's kind of like Piastri, isn't it?
Yeah, like just there. Not like obviously too bad. Not.
Yeah, I'm gonna say bottom end of C.
Yeah, okay. It was average.
Okay. Happy. Last one, Charles Leclerc. Starting the pole.
Finish B.
I think he did miraculously and brilliantly on that first stint.
Yeah.
Despite the damage, I mean, because of the damage, I think he did better. Not, it didn't make him go faster, but it definitely made him look much better compared to Sainz.
Yeah.
So
I feel like he needs a hug because people were blaming him.
Yeah, that wasn't fair. We'll give him an A-star just to make up for it, shall we?
Yeah, that's our little hug to you, little hug.
Yeah, and he was right. He couldn't have gone anyway. We sandwiched it in between two Red Bulls, one turning right hard, and one just sat there.
Yeah.
First stint was great. Second stint was a bit meh, wasn't it?
Yeah, he just wasn't. Again, he couldn't do much, like, on those tyres. It couldn't really fight for anything more. P3.
But he should have had an advantage over Hamilton at the end. He should have.
Should have.
Well, we know the Ferrari isn't great on tyre wear.
Yeah.
But he was ahead of Hamilton in the first stint, which was halfway. He was ahead of Hamilton. Hamilton should not have been able to get past him and stay past him on those medium tyres. So it's definitely not an A.
No. I would either go C+.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's in a Ferrari. Despite getting a podium, I think it is low B. Because it's a podium, I'm going to say low B, run C+.
Okay, agree.
Fair?
I'd agree.
Whoop.
There you have it.
And with that, we've only got one more thing to do. It's rate the day. Rate the race.
Race.
Tricky one.
You know what? I think I've got mine in my head. Ready?
So have I. No, I don't. Some good moment. I mean, okay, we've seen some good moments from entertainment-wise. Norris was kind of like the only entertainment out there, and some attempted passes and good few duels, but some clumsy moments from Stroll and Perez in particular.
Yeah.
Alonso was super unimpressive. Tsunoda did, yeah. I think it's a lot easier to talk negative about this one than positive.
Yeah, I've got mine. Got yours?
Yeah.
On the count of 3, yeah?
Go for it.
1.
5.5.
6. The only reason I put 6 and 5 was because of the red flag. We thought it was going to spice it up a little bit. Norris.
It didn't.
And you like Danny Rick, Hamilton. Apart from that, it was an average race at best. Because not much happened. not much was really the battles that were happening. Half of them were clean, half of them were touching or unfortunately
a bit messy, wasn't it?
Yeah, a bit messy with getting crashed out and stuff with obviously Perez and Yuki.
Yeah, it was poor seeing a lot of the
and
Mexicans just leave.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Apart from Hamilton coming through from 6th to the 2nd.
Norris coming from 17th to 5th.
Yeah, which is a great drive. And probably Albon. Ricardo was a highlight. But that's it.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. That's why probably 6 is even too generous.
We'll call it 5.75 right in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were in the same ballpark, though, because I thought you were going to go like 6 or 7. I was going to go like 5, and we're going to like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, the fact we were sort of talking about loads of different things halfway through the race, not even paying attention to
filling, yeah.
Yeah, it's not even filling during the. Well, yeah, we were filling. That's probably the best way to put it. Other conversations were taking priority. Like, what do we think is going to happen to Yuki? So we can clearly see there's no action going on.
Yeah.
So,
then what's happening to Yuki? And then bam.
Yuki's going for 6th. No, he's in 18th.
Oh.
Oops. Right. With that in mind, any closing thoughts?
Looking forward to Brazil. Said earlier.
Is it sprint?
Is, I believe.
Ooh.
Might be wrong.
I'm Googling. But sprints are either brilliant or terrible. I mean, the one at Qatar was really good.
Yeah, if we can have a repeat of 2021, perfect.
Yeah, I don't care who does it. Anyone starts last, ends up 5th, and then 10th, and then 1st.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, you get an A star.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Logan Sargent. I would probably care more, actually.
Why are you saying that? A lot of teams. Because wasn't it because Hamilton having some sort of like needing a new part, and obviously that took him over the limit and blah blah blah. Saying that a lot of teams haven't yet had good place penalties because of parts.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and usually there's so many back end of the season.
They've obviously got a lot better with the durability.
How many races left? Like 4? 3 or 4?
Sao Paulo,
Vegas,
Abu Dhabi. We haven't got China, have we?
No. I'm going to the calendar.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, that was last thoughts from myself. It's another case of what could have been with one of these races.
3 more races. Brazil, Las Vegas, Abbey.
I am seriously hoping that Red Bull, now they've got their full aero allowance, because that penalty from the 2021 cost cap breach is now over. I am seriously hoping they don't come out with a monster next year and muddle the field again.
I'm hoping some of the other teams kind of follow the trajectory, come in with a good car. They can fight straight away.
There are some positives for next year. McLaren's new wind tunnel is online.
Yep.
Or is going online, or is one of those two. Mercedes won't be going down the concept to the no side pod from the start on this one, so they're not going to have a mismatch car. I still believe the no side pod thing aerodynamically is very interesting, because what the problem they then had is they had to rearrange the engine internals to be up higher, which ruins the center of gravity, which then changes the suspension. They then had porpoising. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that the no side pod didn't help internally in the car. Anywho, so next year, hopefully Mercedes and McLaren can both be on it.
Hopefully.
And
make it a little bit more interesting for us.
And Ferrari, hopefully they have a nice car again, because they've kind of ironed out a lot of the clownness.
Yeah, the Ferrari's not been horrible this year, but it's just been consistent in a way, but it's not been consistent for
good.
like consistent as I mean, like they haven't had those dips and troughs much, where other teams have. They've just been there at one level the whole time.
Yeah, with a highlight being Singapore, but track specific. Yeah, no, I do agree. I am hoping they bring more next year. I am just seriously hoping Red Bull don't unleash a monster, which is
please not.
If that is the case, if by the time the first race rolls around 2024, pack up shop till 2026. Just come back with the new rules.
Yeah.
So
okay, we'll try again then.
Yeah, right. We're all taking time off.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Otherwise, yeah. I think that's time to end it. What do you feel?
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
Looking forward to Brazil.
Yes.
Which obviously,
I'm looking forward to my pizza.
Yeah. Not long left to wait. You see us next Sunday and Saturday because I believe we're going.
Next Saturday we have TTR.
That's why. I knew it was something. Yes. I couldn't quite remember.
Yeah, I didn't notice until I looked a couple of days ago and went,
Yes.
We've got the sprint race, which we're going to have to try and fit in, and TTR.
I can do the sprint race. Or I'm sure we'll find out, like, near the time, but you'll see one of us, or both of us, at some point during the weekend.
If we, I tell you what, if we can all make it, we'll all try and make it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Pleasure's always been talking. This has been the F1RST podcast. We will be back. Undoubtedly.
I'm gonna go
Indubitably.
a manly raid. Playing some Cyberpunk, I believe.
Sweet. I will do the same then. So let us do that. We love our Mac. He was an honorary TTR roadblock
did really
sub.
Well.
And he's a good friend. He hosts a great championship one way or another, and he's a really cool guy. A lot younger than you think as well.
And a good pre-GP racer as well.
Absolutely. I forgot about that. He does a lot in and out of our stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's a good lad.
He's a good lad.
Yeah.
And on that note,
thank you as always, Pedro, for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone that's popped in and said hello. Spread the love, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, to Prototype and to Nick, thank you very much also. We'll be back. On a count of 3. Can you send the raid?
Alright. Ready?
Have you already pushed raid?
Not yet. Well, yeah. It's counting down.
Right. On the count of 3.
Right.
On 3, not 4. On 3.
Alright.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
I believe mine went over. Yeah.